Action. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday afternoon live stream here on the Saltcast podcast. I am extremely excited to present to you some really fun topics and some guests that we're going to be having on today from our friends over there in Scotland. They're talking about a new movie that just came out, Dungeons and Dragons. If you haven't seen it, I suggest go check it out in theaters right now. It is well worth the price of admission. Me and V got done watching it last night around midnight, and we thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. So definitely go check it out. If you don't want it spoiled, we will be talking in depth with some people who actually worked on the film today. But before we do that, I want to give a good shout out to our sponsor for the video, Exter. Go to shop.exter.com/thepopcast to get yourself one of the futuristic 21st century wallets. We are working with Brian and Shane over there at the Popcast for the sponsorship, so we'd like to thank them as well. Go to that website down below and grab yourself a new wallet. It comes with a Bluetooth tracking device. If you lose your wallet all the time like I do, that comes in super handy. I just used it yesterday, literally. And it also comes with a blocker so people can't scan your credit cards and steal your identity. So go to the website right below my name right there and grab yourself one of the cool new wallets that we have. And thank you to Exter for that fantastic sponsorship.
And if you type in the Popcast at checkout, you get 25% off.
This is true, 25. That's a heck of a deal. Thank you guys. Thank you, Kadish, for reminding me about that. All right. So without further ado, Matt Vader is here. Welcome, sir. How you doing today?
Hi, I'm in trouble.
Did you drink too much?
No.
Oh,
I forgot my dice.
Your dice?
I forgot my dice.
It's a Dungeons and Dragons.
I was gonna like roll the dice to determine how I was gonna answer questions today.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I'm completely green about all this stuff.
Yeah,
so you're my in.
Listen, okay, so Dungeons and Dragons, I haven't played in many years.
Right.
But I used to be a dungeon master, and I played hardcore from the original days.
Okay.
Through second edition, and then I quit.
Okay.
And I didn't have enough time to devote. So you know how I go. It's like if I can't devote my time to it, I don't want to do it. So I got out of the Dungeons and Dragons world, but I had a great time with it back in the day. And this movie, man, took me back.
Right on.
It took me back. I'm not gonna lie.
Cool.
But I'm missing my dice.
We'll get you some.
I'm missing my dice right now. I'm fidgety for my dice.
Also joining us, producer of the show, Matthew Kadish. Welcome, sir.
Yes, my lovely bride, Jude, is unfortunately under the weather.
Yes, it is a pure sausage fest.
She was really sad that she wasn't going to be able to get to talk to Charlie and ask him all about stunts and stuff like that. But we will try to make up for our lack of estrogen this episode.
Speaking of our guests, we've got Finn and Charlie Allan, the representatives from Combat International, all the way from Scotland. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today on the podcast. We are thrilled to have you. Thanks for being here, man. I'm super stoked. Anytime I get to talk to you guys, I kind of nerd out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I'm still not over the fact that Charlie was the barbarian German guy from the beginning of Gladiator. I'm just like blown away that I get to hang out and talk to you all the time. So thank you, Charlie. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome.
And a newcomer to the show, Finn, his son, also from Combat International. Welcome, sir. You are freaking God. Look at that beard.
I know.
It's fantastic.
It's amazing.
Hey, it runs in the gene pool, runs in the family.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. So we brought you here, obviously, to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. We know, Finn, you got to work on the film. We've got a couple of exclusive clips from behind the scenes to share with our people today. Real quick, before we get into that, I just wanted to say hello to our chat. We've got Nadia, Broba Fett, let's see, David Schwartz. Did I say that wrong? No, Stewart. Sorry, I'm a little drunk. David Stewart. Welcome, guys. Thank you all for being here in the chat. We will be addressing super chats as they come. So if you have questions for Charlie and Finn, drop a super chat in there. We will get to you right away, and we will pause what we're talking about to address.
We should also point out that Nadia from the Inside All Day podcast has a local D&D group.
So no way.
Yeah, so she plays Dungeons and Dragons with her husband and a group of friends locally.
All right, cool. Right on. We also have Gary from the UK also here. Man, do we have some news for you and a cool place to go visit if you're in the UK too.
And we should also point out Quantum Cat was the winner of our giveaway a while back, but because he lives overseas, we can't send anything.
We're like, yeah, it's going to cost us $90 to ship you your hat. And he's like, never mind.
Full disclosure, I did say USA only. Come on, man.
It's fine. But anyway, I just want to thank you again, guys, for being here today. We have your logo on the screen today. If we can go to the fat cam to show that off. Combat International. Charlie, I would love it if you could tell some of our new subscribers. We've gained a lot since the last time you were on the show. So can you tell us what Combat International is, how you guys got started, and what kind of movies you worked on?
Combat International is a group of guys who originally started.
You're dropping out on the audio end.
Dropping out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How's that now?
That's
Oh,
better.
much better, yeah.
Much better. Yeah. Okay, take it away now.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so we Combat International are combat performers. We don't proclaim to be stuntmen, but we do get involved in stunts when asked. And that can range from anything like taking falls, taking hits, running around, getting blown up by Michael Bay, clean off our feet, I might add. All kind of stuff, horse stunts, getting hit by horses, and in Finn's case, hitting horses. We basically built up a repertoire, our own system over the last 28 years, from working early on in movies when we saw stunts. I mean, they've changed their game now, so don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that that's the way it is today, but back then, stunt guys mostly just blew themselves up and fell out of buildings or got knocked down by cars. But the fighting was kind of a bit mundane. And myself and a bunch of guys got together and set up Combat International to up the ante a little bit and bring more realistic fight scenes in combat to film and television.
Right on. And you have a particular problem with, I think, a movie that is generally liked by a lot of people, which I was surprised to hear that you had some salt for it. It was Mel Gibson's Braveheart. You always cringe when I bring that movie up. Can you tell people why?
Yeah, I mean, well, to be fair, that was it changed the face of tourism in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
I think we raised our local income, local economy, boosted it by about 6.8 billion.
Wow.
In the preceding year it came out. Everybody flocked to Scotland. So it did us some favours, but historically and on the movie front, a big no. It was 80% inaccurate. And the thing that spurred me on most to bring to film and television a combat team that could portray, realistic and lifestyle combat, hard hitting and heavy grunting, was Braveheart. The scene where you see the two guys,
yeah, waving
fighting
the rubber
with the
swords
arm.
around,
and having a jolly laugh in the background.
yeah.
£60 million budget, and I
can't unsee that scene now.
I know. I see it
every
every
time I
time.
watch that movie. It's
Sorry.
like, oh.
There's two things that
sorry.
Yeah, there's two things that Charlie ruined that movie for me. It was the rubber horse that fell off the balcony, and those two assholes in the background waving their swords around.
Also, the car in the background.
Yeah,
that one scene. We actually, in our Braveheart review, we actually point all these things out.
Yeah, because it was like I think we did a Braveheart review shortly after I met you, Charlie, for the first time, and I was like, once you told me all those things, I couldn't ever unsee them. So even though I still love that movie, I can't unsee the things that are wrong with it. But but yeah, so you started in Combat International just to kind of up the ante on the realism of these battle scenes, and you've done some incredible work. I know one of my favorite examples of something that you guys worked on was Outlaw King, which also starred Chris Pine as well. You guys worked on that film, and I think it was claimed or it was said to be one of the most historically accurate films, not only in costumes but in battles and in the historical accuracy of the people involved. Can you talk a little bit about that movie?
Yeah, I mean, it was filmed in 74 different locations in Scotland, some of them historical as well. The costumes and the weaponry were most definitely researched deeper. One of our guys, ex-trustee, he still keeps in touch. He now works as a curator of a castle in Scotland, Mingus Castle, which is connected to Finn's grandpa. But they spent so much time with Scott McMaster researching and getting it right for the costume and the weaponry. It's just, I think it's probably the closest it's come to in most movies. They do, sometimes they get better, but sometimes they just have to make do with what's available to them, because a lot of these costumes and weaponry, they do the rounds and they get adapted and changed over time, and then eventually become a bit sorry looking and outdated even, and then they'll bring in something new. And I think Outlaw King did a big favour to the film industry with that because it brought in a lot of new costume.
Right on. I didn't know they reused costumes from other movies and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, loads over
We,
and over again.
Yeah, we talked to some people that were filming something for Apple TV, and we were a big fan of the show, and we had contacted the producers and stuff, and we're like, "Do you guys have anything left that we can like have for our studio as like a keepsake?" And they're like, "No, we burned everything." I'm like, "Is that a new thing that people do? Like they just like destroy every kind of thing that has anything to do with the IP, so like nobody can copyright it, claim it, or something like that." It was weird.
Makes me
Yeah,
sad.
It makes me very sad. Yeah,
It's cheaper than storing it.
it's so crazy. But Finn, first time to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. I would love to know the backstory about how you got involved in your dad's business. At what age did he throw you out there with a sword and a shield and say, "Act like you're fighting that guy"?
Well, I mean, I think as far back as I can really remember, to be honest. I think it all kind of started off when Charlie and the guys they kind of trained in Edinburgh in an underground car park, believe it or not, for when they first started off. I used to just run around with a sword and attack my brother or attack my uncles or the many uncles that I've acquired through the big family that we have, doing what we do. And I think the first kind of major swipe I took was when I swung a sword straight at Charlie and hit him square in the nuts. He then proceeded to chase me around said car park, swinging the sword back at me, and that's kind of when I got the taste for this is it. this is my future. So
Right on. That's awesome.
So yeah. I mean, I think for many years, kind of growing up through kind of adolescence and whatnot, I kind of just did my own thing for a little while, tried and tested a few different careers, a few different jobs, and nothing ever really stuck, to be honest. I always kind of fell back into working alongside my dad and working alongside the guys. I think my first kind of major opportunity would have been Netflix's TV show Cursed, based on the Arthurian legend Merlin, Arthur and Merlin. Where
that was a rough one.
It was a rough
I think we tried reviewing that. And
Yeah.
we were like, "Oh,
Yeah, I'm like,
don't bring it back."
I mean, it was a Netflix thing. Let's just put it that way. It's a Netflix thing for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can confidently say that when we first got pitched the idea and the concept of that TV show, when we were actually on set, we were told, it's Frank Miller's comic. He obviously wrote 300. He had a hand in Watchmen. So it's gritty kind of graphic novels that we were expecting, and then Netflixed it and turned it into a teeny bopper kind of rom-com based in King Arthur. And I mean, for want of a better word, it was shit. So
it was really bad.
I always don't know how to react when I'm like talking to people who have worked on projects, and I'm like, can I tell them that it wasn't very good?
We actually have a review of that up on our channel.
We
like we did a season 1 review of it.
Yeah, we watched it because we were excited for it too. We're like, oh, Therian lore, there's cool magic and Merlin and Arthur and all this shit. Like, I'm down. Let's go watch it. And then we watched it. And we're like,
Oh, I forgot about that show.
you were drunk.
I think that was around the time we also did the Warrior Nun review.
Yeah, Warrior Nun was a bit of a freaking flop too.
Yeah, I keep seeing season 2 on my Netflix.
They kept it. Netflix is notorious for
no.
just canceling shit like after season 1. They're like, we're done with you. Get out of here.
Leave us on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Just give us a movie or something.
They cancel their best shows and they keep going with the stuff that doesn't work. But anyway, so the reason why you're here, Finn, you got to work on Dungeons and Dragons, which Vader and I got to saw last night. Katie saw earlier this week. I think we all generally enjoyed it, right? I thought it was way better than I expected it to be honest with you. I didn't really have a lot of expectations, but I was like worried that it was going to be not fun, I guess is what the best way I could put it. But I had a blast. It had good heart, it had good story. The action scenes were great, and the CGI was awesome as well. Like there's a lot of like magic going on, and none of it looks hokey at all. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. We had a good time at the theater last night. Kadish, I don't think I've heard your thoughts on it yet. Did you like the Dungeons and Dragons movie?
I did like it. I liked it more than I thought I would, but it was way too long.
I disagree.
They could have cut some of that runtime off. It was almost 3 hours.
It didn't feel like that.
Didn't feel like it.
I had fun the whole time. I disagree with you on that. I thought it was great.
I had a great time.
Yeah,
I did. I had a really good time. There was some deep cuts in this movie that I was really shocked.
Did you notice the Saturday morning cartoon?
I did. I was just gonna get there. If you're watching, one scene towards the end where the big climax where they're fighting in the arena, there's another adventurer group in there that is the the Saturday morning cartoon crew from that old Dungeons and Dragons cartoon on Saturday mornings, and they don't have any lines. You just barely see them. They're kind of in the background.
You know what I like
but
about
you're kind
that?
of like, oh, I know who those guys are.
Yeah,
It's very interesting.
See,
yeah.
for somebody like me, I had no context for it, so I just thought they were like extras in the background. And you nudged me, and you were like, "Dude, that's from the '80s." And I was like, "Oh, I love it when movies take the time to do that kind of stuff."
I really wish we could have seen Jeremy Irons make a little.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, that would be great.
Like I said earlier, as an old school guy, I very much appreciated a lot of the little things they sprinkled in there. You know, there's some weird creatures in this thing that you only see in the monster manual. There's creatures in this thing that little dungeon masters like me didn't even put in our campaigns because they're too weird.
The brain dog.
Oh
things?
The brain thing. I forget what they're called.
Somebody in the comments will let us know. Real quick, I just want to give Whiskey Jack a shout out. Thank you, sir, for the super chat. £2. He is from the UK, so Whiskey Jack, drive up to Duncurran over there and hang out with Charlie and Finn. They've got a really awesome medieval village that's open to the public, and you guys are doing events for that as well coming up next weekend, I think, right?
Are you going to bother reading the super chat?
Oh, I did. Netflix went full Netflix. Sorry, I didn't read it. My bad. No. I'm still coming off this Jack and Daniels. Yeah, Netflix went full Netflix with Cursed for sure. Thank you, sir, for the £2. Go hang out at Dunkirk.
And you know what's crazy about Cursed though is like the guy who played Merlin plays Floki in Vikings.
Yeah,
which is a much better show.
Anyway, Finn, fill us in on some of the background information on working on the movie. Any experiences that you had, any kind of fun stories that you want to tell? Go for
it. For Dungeons and Dragons. So it was a pretty whirlwind ride just getting involved from the get-go. It was kind of right in the peak of coming out of COVID. Everyone was still super uptight with COVID practices, daily tests, sometimes 2 tests a day. And I mean, I had no joy at the start trying to get involved. I went over for rehearsals and stuff like that. Everything's fine. COVID tests were all good. Went on for actually going over there for my first kind of week's worth of shooting. And I think I ended up with something like 4 inconclusive COVID tests, 2 positives and 7 negatives. And just basically every time that it was like the day that we were wanting to do what I needed to do, I had an inconclusive or I had a positive that then turned into a negative by the time I got back to the hotel. And it was hard work. It was hard work, and it was really stressful for obviously Pete Miles, who was the stunt coordinator that contacted my dad, to get involved, because as you can imagine, big budget productions like that, they might have a huge budget, but they've got a very limited time to get stuff done. And they booked me for just over a week, and I lost about 4 of those days to waiting on COVID test results coming in. So just hard work, absolute nightmare. But I mean, working with the crew were fantastic. The 2 Johns, John Francis Daly, director, and Jonathan Goldstein, director, lovely guys, really understanding. They had kind of a really clear-cut vision that they needed to stick as close to, if not bang on with the source material as possible. I haven't actually seen the film itself yet. I was due to go and see it yesterday, but I opted for John Wick, and then I watched your guys' review on that just before coming on tonight. But we'll not get into that. We'll not get into that. But it was great. It was great. I had a blast of a time. My kind of main bit, I suppose, was to do with the maze sequence in the film.
Yeah.
I think I've not seen the full film, so I don't know how much of what I did actually made it in, but the one snippet that I know made it in just due because it was in a trailer, I know that was just a very small part of it, but even so, equally as fun nonetheless.
Yeah.
Was that you that got eaten by the gelatinous cube?
That was me. Yeah. That was
Actually,
me.
I think we have that clip. We're gonna try and play it. I don't know how YouTube's gonna react to this. So if the stream gets disappeared for some reason, we'll come back in a minute. But we're gonna play this clip real quick, along with some behind the scenes footage that Finn gave us. So hit it, producer.
Get out of the way!
It's burning! Another minute, I would have lost my hand.
Yeah, that was
What
cool.
was that you were jumping into?
So the way that they built it, they basically built this rig inside the maze, big metal square frame, and basically it was just like it was like a silicon-based latex. So it was to obviously resemble the gelatinous cube, and then obviously everything else was done in post and through motion capture that we did elsewhere in the studio. But yeah, that was a perfect kind of insight into what happens on screen compared to what happens actually at the time kind of goes to show, because that thing did not want to let me through for the first 2 takes.
So you were supposed to go all the way through that, so like it was supposed to rip, but it actually just bounced you back.
Yeah, that threw me right back out. That was having none of it. Absolutely none of it. The way that it was meant to go, they were meant to heat it up with like a butane canister, just to basically thin it right out. They didn't do that on the first take. They just left it, so it was a good couple of mil thick, and the elasticity just threw me right back out. Nearly.
You're a big dude too. You towered over the other actors that you ran past. How tall are you?
So I'm 7'1", 7'1".
He's a fucking Viking, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, so obviously working with Michelle and Sophia in that scene, Michelle is probably around 5'8", 5'9". Apologies, Michelle, if you ever watch this and I got your height wrong, please don't hurt me. And Sophia, she's a small girl as well, so throwing myself through those two and then bouncing right back at them to the point of nearly crushing Sophia against the wall. It was you see in that second kind of BTS clip, she just big grin on her face because she just persisted to laugh at me for about 5 minutes straight after that. But yeah, it was
I bet to see a friggin' giant like you get bounced back off of that rubber gasket thing. Yeah, I can imagine.
Absolutely.
What other I know because you had involvement in the movie. There's a couple other battle scenes. There's another one from the trailer where there's 2 warring factions and then the dragon flies over. Were you guys involved in that stunt work as well?
No. So all the work that I did personally was all in the Titanic Studios in Belfast, which was basically it was the old set from Game of Thrones for King's Landing that was then repurposed to become the Dungeons and Dragons set for that market scene, and then the maze was just built with panels in the backlot just outside of it. So it was in the old Game of Thrones studio over in Belfast, Ireland.
I thought that street looked familiar.
Shame.
That's the exact same one.
That's where Cersei Lannister walked down the street naked.
Yeah, that's the exact same one.
Right on. Cool. What other? So you got to work with Michelle. She's obviously a big part of this movie. She was the brute. Is that you got to fill me in on this? Is it called a brute? Is that what?
I don't know what she is.
You don't know what she is?
I think she was a warrior.
When I played, it was fighter, druid, cleric, mage, and thief.
So my character was titled as a barbarian when I was over there on set, and I believe that because as you guys mentioned earlier in the beginning of the maze scene, you see the 3 different parties that kind of come up. So you had your main cast, Michelle, Chris, etc., and then you had your 80s TV show. They were basically meant to be carbon copies of them, but obviously the 80s, and then the full kit costume department kind of went over and above to try and make sure that it was as close to, if not perfect, as possible. And then you had our team, which was again another kind of copy of the main cast, but then just in slightly different and various different roles. So you had we had an archer, a mage, or a ranger, a mage, myself as a barbarian, And then obviously we had the dwarf cleric as well.
I like how Michelle's character, the big muscular like warrior, was into little dudes.
Yeah. I couldn't believe I didn't see what's his name? Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
I did not see him like being in this movie at all. I was like, is that freaking Bradley Cooper? He was the first midget guy, the little
What?
dude that Michelle was all hot on.
You didn't notice
recognize him?
No,
How did you not recognize him?
I didn't notice him.
Oh my
I did not know that was Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, it's Bradley Cooper, dude.
That's hilarious.
I had no idea he was in this movie. I don't even think he was in any of the trailers or nothing. I was like, oh my god.
I just thought it was funny how he said he was busy writing his book or something.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
It's a pure soy boy.
yeah, I'm like, what's going on? Because I just got the Bilbo vibes because he's writing his book.
Yeah.
He had mad game though, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently he's into those big ladies.
Big girl, some snoo.
Some snoo. That's my snoo.
Yeah.
Right on. I wanted to ask you guys about working with Chris Pine again because, like I mentioned before, you guys got to work with him on Outlaw King. And Charlie, you mentioned the last time we talked that he was one of the few actors who could actually pull off a good Scottish accent, an authentic one. Can you tell us a little bit about working with him on Outlaw King?
Yeah, that's correct. He's probably the best actor I've heard putting on a Scottish accent. I mean, it was a serious part. Robert the Bruce, one of the most important historical characters of in Scotland, and he did the part well. He had a lot of respect for the character that he was playing, and I remember we were on one of the loch scenes when we're doing an escape. We're fighting with the MacLeods, I think it was, and fighting our way down onto the beach and getting into boats. And it was middle of the night. It was getting dark, and I didn't realise that Chris Pine was actually holding on to the side of the boat in the water. And when I looked over, and I knew how cold the water was because I was in it myself. I mean, he might have had a wetsuit on. I never asked, but this is it was round about that time. We got him back in the boat eventually for one of the scenes, and he rattled off his Scottish accent, and he says, how am I doing, chick? How am I doing? And I was like, you're doing it extremely well, actually. I says, it's very convincing. And he got stoked and puffed up and went, hey, if the big man chick says I'm doing all right in a Scottish accent. It was good.
That's awesome.
So, no, he done us proud. Yeah.
Good. I'm going to pull up a super chat real quick. $5 from John. I'm not going to try and Kakaza. Is that how you say it? Okay, yeah, thank you.
Our photographer friend.
Oh, right on. What's up, John? Action movies don't exist without stunt people / choreographers. Thanks for what you guys do. Your teams don't get enough credit. More interviews like this. I would love more interviews like this too. I love having a little bit of an in on the industry. I think it's the coolest thing that I get to do on this podcast is talk to guys like Charlie and Finn. Totally agree. Thank you so much for the $5. Really appreciate that. So Finn, did you get a chance to work with Chris on set of Dungeons and Dragons? And if you did he recognize you as a giant 7'1" monster and working with your dad and stuff like that?
Yeah. So I think one of the first couple of days that I made it onto the studio lot, I was actually walking from I think it was motion capture to costume, or vice versa. And Chris being Chris, he was cycling around. It was boiling hot. It's the middle of the summer, so it's probably like some of the nicest weather we've had in the UK / Ireland in a long time. And boiling hot, sunglasses on, half his bard costume on, shirtless, riding around on this bicycle, just loving life. And he cycled past. I was wearing my Outlaw King t-shirt that I half tactically packed with me to take, knowing that Chris would be there just to see if it would spark a recognition. But he did. He stopped his bike after cycling past me and turned around and just went, "Wait a minute. Come here." I've kind of walked over to him, and obviously, again, this is in the height of COVID, so security people have seen that I've started walking towards their principal actor and started shitting themselves and running over at full pelt. But he stopped. He's gone, "Are you Charlie's son?" I was like, "Yeah." That's me. How you doing, Chris? He was like, "Fuck, man." He's like, "I remember you. You helped us out learn how to row a boat." I was like, "Yeah, I was there. I was down at the museum in Glasgow when they were learning how to row boats." And we got to chatting. This security guy came running over and started, getting right irate that I was anywhere close to someone as expensive to insure as Chris Pine during COVID. So we were swiftly separated, but not before Chris told the security guy to back off and that he could talk to who he wanted to, which was quite cool. I appreciated that a lot.
Nice.
But no, there was a couple of scenes, just kind of the maze scene, just kind of in between takes where, I was able to sit and chat with Chris and Michelle and Sophia. Got to good chat with him again. He remembered all of us and all our guys from Combat International, from Outlaw King. Says that the Battle of Loudon Hill still to this day remains one of his most egregious, hard-working, couple of weeks on set. I'm sure Charlie will easily testify to that. Mud, blood, and everything gory you can think of. It was a hard couple of weeks for the guys. I was only helping out costume on that one. I wasn't involved directly, but no, Chris, lovely guy, absolutely lovely guy, top guy.
That's great to hear. Charlie, tell us a little bit about that battle that he said is his most grueling scene that he's done in his career. We got to hear this story.
Loudon Hill. We actually got T-shirts made up at the end with mud and blood. So everybody knew it. Everybody knew if you had one of those T-shirts, you were at Loudon Hill, the Battle of Loudon Hill. It was the purpose built the ditches with concrete. They had about 50, 60 horse CGI'd, of course. We were basically up to our knees in mud, and the water was just running right through the site. We got lucky with the weather right until near the end. There was a couple of us got some real nasty chest infections. I caught for it as well at one point. So I was a bit sick near the end, it was one of the craziest, dirtiest, wettest. In fact, we got so muddy that we couldn't bring ourselves into costume. So we got the task of power washing everybody down.
Oh,
so we had all the background extras and all our own guys. Obviously, our guys needed to get in and away because we were there before everybody else. So we pulled rank and got in and got dekitted because we dekit ourselves. We don't wait to get undressed, like most background. But so they all had to stand there and get power washed, like from the waist down. And everything went into drying rooms and was bone dry the next day. But this went on constantly for like the 2-3 weeks that we were there. But up until that point, we got real lucky with weather, considering it was Scotland. Yeah. So, but muddy. Crazy.
One of the things you and I got a chance to talk a little bit about Outlaw King and the stunts and the battle scenes that you guys did, and you blew my mind. There's a scene in that movie where a bunch of horses come running down to a front line with spears and stuff like that, and these horses just go freaking flying. And I'm like, to me, watching the film, it looks like a freaking real horse like that. And you were like, no, those are rubber stunt horses that are on rails that get launched like a catapult. Is like, how do you guys avoid getting injured on sets like that where they have rubber horses flying through the air?
Those are contained stunts, so they get taken off to the side.
Okay.
And cheated in, basically. Yeah. I mean, you have the horse charging towards you, so they take it to a certain point and then cut, and then they do all the close-up stuff and intense stuff, where guys are flying over onto mats that are off camera. It's just they can't do it any other way. It has to be for safety, to get that nitty-gritty detail in there. It has to be controlled, so it gets taken off to one side. And one of our guys found out that the bunker, the actual ditches that were pre-dug before we arrived there. We did a scene where we were digging, but he threw himself. Called him Torpedo Harry after that. He threw him. Finn's laughing. He threw himself at the earth, thinking it was earth, and it was just a film. And underneath that was pure concrete. So he shrunk his neck about 4 inches.
Oh no!
He got rushed off to hospital with concussion. Back on set the next day though.
Savage.
Yeah, but that was a sore one.
That was a long night in hospital. I sat with him.
That's right.
I wanted to ask you guys, so a lot of what you do is like, the actual hand-to-hand combat stuff, right? like, how do you train actors and stuff like that to do like the actual like fighting?
Before film or TV, I mean, take Norsemen for instance, the Netflix series. It was a bit of a tongue-in-cheek Norwegian version of Monty Python, I think.
Yeah.
But we spent a couple of weeks pre-shoot getting all the actors up to scratch, which is pretty much what they do across the board in any film. You can't just walk on set and do everything. So all the choreography, all the hits, all the sequences with the various stunts that you're smashing your way through or getting smashed by, it all has to be worked out in a safe environment so that when you step onto the set, it's all fresh in your mind, and then you're saving a lot of time for the shoot. So that's basically how it's done.
Right on. What was your most difficult actor? Not that you want to like down an actor or anything like that, but who wasn't really up to snuff when it comes to fighting and stuff like that? Because it doesn't always come naturally. I know there's stories from like Star Wars working with Ian McDermott. Is that am I saying his name right? Palpatine.
Yeah.
Where Ian McDermott was on set trying to use a lightsaber and he just couldn't figure out how to do it, and they finally were like, just get a stunt person in here. Have you guys worked with somebody who's just not inept at swinging a sword?
Yep. Clive Owen.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, unfortunately, sadly. I mean, what I think what pissed us off the most was that, again, another historical character who should have been given some respect and a lot of effort and respect put towards. But I mean, there's Stellan Skarsgård had something like, it was something like 94 moves, 94 cuts, moves in his fight sequence. And Keira Knightley, Stellan Skarsgård, Mads Mikkelsen, Ray Winston, they all trained religiously. All of them. They all trained religiously every day. Clive Owen, nah, I don't do that. That's for stunts.
Oh man.
So he was so wooden, and we called him Wooden Top. They actually had to film him. They actually had to film him from a very low angle because his legs were just not doing anything.
Oh man, I need to go back and watch that movie now.
Oh, don't. Yeah, no.
I just want to
spoil
see
that one for you as well.
I want to see the holes that we could poke through that stuff now. I love this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This is my jam. I love it.
Yeah. So that was that.
So Finn, I got a question for you too about Dungeons and Dragons and some of the difficulties that you guys have to deal with. This movie featured a whole bunch of CGI monsters and like CGI wizardry and stuff like that. Did you guys have any trouble dealing with like overabundance of green screen, or did they really put the effort forth of having like a live set and a real tactical feel to the whole thing?
Yeah, so the guys went all out on this one. I think there was so much chatter about how if this one didn't play up to the expectations in comparison to, I believe there was another attempt at Dungeons and Dragons between obviously the 80s and this one that didn't go down well at all, and there was so much chatter on set about it. But no, they really went all out. I mean, the maze scene in particular, when there was a few there's probably a lot of B-roll that maybe wasn't used, where we were getting chased through that maze by the Displacer Beast. And it was just a very large Russian man with a camera rig on a trolley just running behind me, just chasing me with this trolley. It was like a wheelbarrow with a camera on it, basically made out of scaffold tube. And he was going for it, so that was their way of doing that. But then when it came to some of the more close up, more kind of intimate stuff, it was actually again stunt performers or stuntmen and women in morph suits with the green screen balls all over them, and they were what's the word I'm looking for, parkour kind of professionals. So they were running around on all fours, jumping around, jumping off the walls, backflipping, twisting, doing all the moves that effectively these beasts and animals would do. And basically that was then obviously them as humans would then become those animals in the film. I think one scene in particular in the market where Sophia Lillis's character Doric changes into some form of a bird and goes through a window. That was one of the guys I worked with, Rodrigo. That was him in a morph suit jumping out of that window. I think it was probably about 15 feet up, jumped out the window and then landed with no map, just landed and rolled. Just that was his parkour skill.
Wow.
There's one video I forgot to send you guys, actually, was him practicing that. We basically increased we're in the studio. We had this kind of training practice area with mats all across the floor. And we basically, in most kind of stunt rehearsals for stuff, a lot of people use kind of like big cardboard boxes to basically mask out an area. So we use these cardboard boxes in a big long row to basically create the length in which he would need to jump to actively clear any hazards. And I think it was something like 7 or 8 boxes in length, which would have worked out to probably, about 14, 15 feet long, as well as from height. And that was basically his way of practicing how to clear that distance to be able to then effectively land safely. It was incredible, the lengths that they went to put all this together. Very little green and blue screen work that I noticed when I was over there. They really did try to keep it as live action could possibly be.
Right on. That's great to hear. And it always amazes me when I see behind the scenes stuff of people just doing crazy stunts like that. Like, if you were to ask me, oh, remember that bird sequence where she flies out the window? Yeah, that was a dude in a suit who jumps 15 feet. I would have been like, no way. You're crazy. Nobody's going to do that stuff. I
appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
It just makes me like the movie a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they put the effort through.
It's not just a bunch of blue screen nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we'll do it in post. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like, they did it on set. That's good. I feel like it improves the mentality of everybody on set when everybody's on the same page. It look
just that much better.
Yeah, it makes it look better. The reactions are real and stuff like that. It always improves it. We got a $10 super chat from No Money G. Apparently, he's got some money. $10. That's incredible. Thank you so much. It's very generous. Great panel, guys. Thumbs up. Slightly off topic, but thanks to Matt for dealing with my idiotic question from something else. You know what he's talking about?
Yeah. So No Money G is one of the guys who's coming to the 10 Forward Festival.
Oh, right on. Cool.
And he got mixed up about something, so I was happy to answer his question.
Okay, cool. Right on. Well, thank you, No Money G. I hope to see you here in Vegas pretty soon. What is it, April 25th? 25th, yeah. We're doing a festival here at a luxury theater in Vegas. We're going to hopefully have some writers from season 3 of Picard over, and we're going to watch all 10 episodes. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned on that. Make sure you follow us on social media to get regular updates on how that planning is going. But thanks, Finn and Charlie, for the insights. Yes, thank you guys so much for giving us these awesome stories. It's great. Thank you, No Money G, for that $10. Very generous. Thank you.
I'd like to ask the guys, is there ever a stunt or a choreographed fight or something like that you guys did that went just horribly wrong or not according to plan?
No. They're professionals, Cage. They don't fuck around.
No.
I love it. I love that response. They're just like, no.
That's not how it works. We do it right. Get it done the first time.
Right on. I saw a question earlier from somebody in the chat. Chris, thank you for the question. He said, Combat International, how do you guys get trained for what you do, and when is the next training program? I'm assuming they must be from the UK if they're asking that question.
Over you, Finn.
Yeah, so that's big, Chris. Chris, how you doing? Nice to see you, buddy. Chris actually came over all the way from the States to partake in a one-to-one session with one of our instructors, and he's itching to come back over and take part in the next one. So for you, Chris, I know that time constraints are a thing for yourself. We are looking to put on more in the latter half of the year. We are running our courses right the way through this year. Our next phase 1, we have not actually set a date for it for your introductory course. That will more than likely be, looking at my calendar now, probably looking into kind of like August, September, going forward, August, September, October times, probably when we'll start running some more introductory courses. We have recently just completed a phase 1 with another 8 new students. So working our way through that. But yeah, we're hoping as time progresses and as interest picks up and the film industry starts kind of booming again, because right now it is actually really quiet in the film industry in terms of ongoing projects, especially in the UK. With everything that's going on with our financial crisis at the moment. It's always a fun topic. But yeah, so we're hoping to see a lot more going on in the future. You know, and we're, of course, fingers crossed, we have a few potential projects lined up that we will hopefully be involved in. And I'm sure as things progress, there'll be more on that later that we can give you guys some juicy bits on. But for now, all hush hush.
Yeah. That's good to know. My wife is in the chat too. She says, cool to hear all these behind the scenes story. I can't wait to meet you guys in person. I am fortunate enough. I'm planning a trip to Scotland in August, and my number one stop is coming to your guys' Dunkirk. You have an event going on at the end of August that I think I will be there for. And I cannot wait to see the place in person. You guys have a ton of props from other movies that you've worked on, and I'm really, really looking forward to the trip. And hopefully I can get to come and hang out with you guys and swing some swords around if I don't mind. I think that would be a ton of fun. I would geek out so much.
Didn't you say that you wanted a video of Charlie killing you?
Yes. If we can do that, Charlie, I would be honored if you could chop my head off on film at some point in time. I will don a red coat. I don't care. It matches up. It's historical because my family comes from Nottingham. So, you know, I could be a red coat and you could kill me and I would let you do that. But I am really looking forward to that trip, though. It's awesome. You guys are doing some great work, and that's a perfect segue too. You guys have a pretty big announcement that you guys wanted to mention on our channel. I'm honored that you're doing it here. So take it away, whoever wants to take it.
Big announcement for which announcement?
The big one, the big US announcement.
Sorry. Right, okay. Sorry. The big US one, yeah. Well, some time ago, as Finn was explaining, a few guys came over from the States, and there was a guy, Spencer Waddle. You'll find him on online on Instagram, Simply Samurai. That's his handle on Instagram. He's world champion, full contact swordsman. You know, and gets in the arena, full armor. And gives it loudy and smashes away. And he's a very skilled guy. He tries out lots of different fighting styles, has visited many different tutors, so he takes his craft very, very seriously. And we got talking during the courses that were over. They basically did, I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, Finn, but I think it was first and second in within the 2 weeks, which is quite a strenuous one to do.
Yeah, first, second, and their SPAC accreditation as well. So triple whammy.
Which basically makes, you know, they walk away with knowing that they're confident in the level that they're at to step on any film set, you know, with or without us. So we had a discussion back at the hotel, and he was inquiring whether if we would be interested in franchising our brand and style and academy into the States. And whilst we haven't had a chance to discuss that further, that is ongoing. He's in the Carolinas as well, but I'm also speaking to another chap, Zan, from Fell and Fair. They're a bit like more sort of LARPy weekend. They do like a weekend warrior themed event. Fell and Fair, you'll find them on the web as well. They've got about 500 guys in their club, and they've been discussing recently that I go over with a couple of bodies and we set up a school in Greenville, South Carolina. So there could be two schools getting set up out of the one visit. So I believe in May, the restrictions for travel are being lifted finally, and we can get across there and do our thing and set up our academy in the States. It may mean that we'll have to travel to America. Shame.
We'll make sure to have a place for you. If you come out west,
America more often, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, it's the start of it. So if we can get this one kicked off, or these two kicked off, who knows where it will spread.
We'll have Charlie and Finn ever been to Vegas?
Yeah, you've got family or friends in Vegas. Is that right, Charlie?
I've got friends in Vegas.
There you go. Yeah, you got us. We're definitely here.
Yeah.
Everybody has friends. in
Yeah, no,
Vegas.
we've got kind of like adopted family. We've got family in South Carolina.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool. I know I've seen on your Instagram, you posted a couple of photos of you riding your motorcycle down through the deserts that look very familiar to me. And I'm like, so I know you've been here before. I just didn't know how long ago that was.
Yeah, I've done a few thousand miles over there now. I've been 21 days traveling on the bike.
Nice.
Non-stop.
on.
It was great.
Oh my
Finn's
God.
champion. Finn came over with me the last time I was over, and we were helping out our relative. And we got some. The deal was we help him out, and he hires the Harley. So off we went and scooted around.
I'm just picturing you driving around the country on a Harley
For 21 days.
scaring the shit out of people. It's like, oh my God, look at that guy.
7'1" Viking just
Oh
driving
my
down
God.
a Harley.
Like a battle axe on it.
Yeah, we did get sniffed at a couple of times by a couple of clubs on our travels. That
I
was,
bet.
nothing crazy.
Probably one of the only people who could make a Harley Davidson Road King look like a 125cc.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, they
Mini
don't make many bikes big enough to hold
Yeah.
somebody like you, dude. That's crazy.
Praying mantis.
I've got an old dusty bike in my garage that I'm just waiting to hear from you guys when the next time you're coming out. I'm gonna have to dust it off and get it going again.
Well, you better.
Absolutely, will do. So that's very exciting to hear you guys are coming to the States. Hopefully that all works out and we can expand on Combat International and get you guys over here on the West Coast doing some freaking battle scenes. That would be dope.
West Side's where it's at.
West Side's where it's at. South Carolina's nice. Well, the West Side's where it's
Well,
at.
speaking of which, we got a super chat about
Yes, we do.
We
going
do.
someplace else.
We do. Shout out. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. You're in charge. You're in charge of the super chats. My bad. $2 from JT, good friend of ours, Patreon member and a club member. Hey nerds, I am about to hit the road to Texas. Good luck,
Nice.
sir. Good luck to you and your family. We know you're making a big move from Arizona to Texas, and we appreciate the time that you take spending with us here in the super chats and seeing you in Discord and stuff.
Is-
JT's a really good
Is
guy.
he gonna be here in a few weeks?
I don't know.
I don't know. You
We'll
coming
find
to
out.
town, JT?
He's got a lot of stuff going on over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit busy moving.
Yeah.
He's-
No, I think he's coming.
Is he?
I think he's coming. I
That'd be
think he has
dope.
to come for work or something.
That'd be cool.
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, West Side represent.
right.
That's right. Real old movies. 10-4.
Except for California, we stop at the border.
Yeah, there's a line.
Prim stops. That's yeah.
You don't need to go to California.
Don't need to go past Prim.
There's nothing there. Anyway, all right. Well, I'm kind of out of questions for you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today and answering some of the behind the scenes things for Dungeons and Dragons. If you haven't seen it yet and you're in the chat, we might have just spoiled a couple of things for you, but not really too much about the story. It is genuinely worth checking out. I had a lot of fun watching
me
it,
too.
so definitely go check it out. Is there anything you guys want to say to final up on the Dungeons and Dragons talk? Finn, you any other fun stories to tell?
No, I mean we've pretty much covered it. I think the only other kind of thing of note would be just during the whole COVID thing. I think it was just a crazy experience. Everyone was at one point so afraid to go anywhere near each other, and then everyone was getting right up close to each other, and it just kind of defeated the purpose of having regulations to begin with. I think there's just there's so much crazy stuff you could talk about, but hey, we're on the outside, we're on the other end of COVID now. Don't want to bring up that shit anymore. To those still affected by it, hope it clears up soon. But yeah, no, I had a great experience. I loved it. For someone who had no real knowledge of the franchise until I got offered the part, I did a wee bit of research. I think it's great. I'm looking forward to going and seeing it myself. But come over to Scotland, sign up to our courses, combatinternational.com, and get yourselves involved and come and rub shoulders with us and come and start fighting each other. It's the best job you could ever ask for. Fighting your friends and getting paid for it.
Maybe you'll get to be a barbarian in a Roman movie.
Are you kidding me? I'd be a bard, dude. I'd be like a loser with a lute.
I heard that they're thinking about making a Gladiator 2.
I've heard rumors that Ridley Scott has an idea for a script, but I don't think anything's been solidified. The people to ask would be here, though. Charlie, have you heard anything from Ridley?
Nodded his head a little bit.
Yeah, we haven't heard from him. We are on the list for consideration for Gladiator 2. They're filming, I think, in Malta and Bulgaria, which kind of makes the odds for us a little bit tough to get over there. They'll always go the cheaper route if they can. But we've got guys, there's a couple of guys on the team that we worked with on The Last Duel in Ireland when we were working with Ridley. So we might get a shout yet. I know we're being considered anyway.
Yeah, and you got shot in the eyeball with a flaming arrow on the set of The Last Duel too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't remember what that one.
Yeah. I know. I think that was Ridley Scott was messing with you, right? You said something to him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make sure you get a death scene in this movie." Then
totally messing with me because I knocked him back on Robin Hood with Russell Crowe and Ridley Scott. I knocked him back, and he was like, "Oh, Chick, you'll take a crossbow in the eye, won't you?" And I was like, "Oh, come on, Ridley." I was like, "You killed me in Gladiator." I was like, "If you're going to be doing a sequel for this one," which there was a bit of a rumor at the time. If you're doing a sequel for this one, I said, I don't want killed off in the first one. I want to be in the second one as well. He went, all right then. And slapped me in the belly and walked past me. And everybody was like, oh my God, you just knocked back Ridley Scott. But we are in the running. You know, we keep bumping into each other. He's in his 80s now. But he's still, you know, on his feet, still doing the job, still an amazing character. Lovely man. Swears a lot, but he gets a lot done. And he's a gentleman. He's a really nice guy.
Right on.
Lovely to work with.
You've told me some pretty awesome stories about Russell Crowe as well, which made me really happy that he's a super nice guy.
Yeah. I saw him on a show this morning. He was getting quizzed about Australian slang, and just been. And he was also talking about the Pope's Exorcist, as well, because that's coming out now. But he was his usual mischievous, funny self.
Yeah,
he's a good lad. Yeah, he's a good lad.
I've got to ask this one question. This is for my wife. She's a huge Outlander fan, and I know you guys got to work on the newest season of Outlander, and it was actually filmed at your village. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And I know they have this whole thing on lockdown until it comes out this summer, but is there anything that you can tell us about Outlander season 7?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to finish on that one anyway. If or at least mention it on the way out. That's 10 years now. We'll have been, because 8th season is now kicking off. I think it kicks off in May. We'll be filming right through winter again. There's a lot of good scenes which will require big hairy swordsmen, shall I say. Nice. That's all I can give at the moment, but we are going to be involved. They were in Duncarron last year from March to August, and the scene where Duncarron is involved airs in autumn, and I believe it's part 1 of season 7. So although we've got a full calendar of events this year, right up until December, there's something going on big every month, and in between now as well. We're going to be open all the way through the kids' summer holidays, so hopefully we'll get a lot of parents. We'll probably end up being a crash, but as long as the parents get involved as well, that we're cool about that. But I think we're going to get inundated with visitors after we've been put squarely on the Outlander map. Visit Scotland are also helping us get it out there, and Screen Scotland, who I've just been talking to recently,
right on.
About some funding for another project that we're doing in October.
Awesome. So, this is a great question by Chris. Obviously, you guys have a relationship with him. He's in the chat working for you guys. How can people find Duncarron and look up information? What's their website that they can go to?
Duncarron.com, and you'll find us on Google Events as well. We just recently managed to decipher how to do that. Usually that's Finn's job, but he was busy at the time, so we had to wade through it. And my wife Cara, she takes care of the other side of it. When Finn can't.
I'm gonna throw a link in the chat, guys. If anybody's interested, there is a link right there. Click on that, and it'll take you to their website.
Thanks very much, mate.
No worries, of course. Yeah. Really, I am truly looking forward to visiting that place. It's going to be great. I'm doing a full tour of Scotland. I'm starting off in the north in Inverness, and I'm going to work my way down south, and then come hang out with you guys.
I don't want to hear about your
I'm going to talk about it all summer, buddy. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Charlie's gonna chop my head off, and you're gonna be so
I'm
jealous
stuck out here in this hellhole in the desert.
in the Dust Bowl.
Dude, it was raining dirt yesterday.
Yeah, it was raining dirt
It was
yesterday.
raining mud yesterday.
Yeah, it sucked. It was terrible.
We had windstorms combined with rain,
Yeah.
dust storms and rain. That just makes it mud that falls out of the sky. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Vegas, baby.
Vegas.
All right, guys. I know it's about 10 o'clock for you guys. So if you want to head out, you can. If you want to hang out with us nerds, we're gonna switch it up a little bit. We're gonna talk about like Star Wars and some other nerdy crap. But thank you both for joining us. Really means a lot to us nerds to get behind the scenes look at this, and I hope that we can work together more often in the future for your other
Yes.
projects.
Cool. Thanks very much. It's been a pleasure.
No worries,
Yeah,
Charlie.
thanks for having me.
Finn,
Thanks, guys.
it's great to meet you, man. I'm gonna
And
be
you.
terrified when I see you in person.
You did say 7 feet.
7'1", dude.
Yeah,
He's
hold
a
on, hold
foot and a
on.
half taller than me.
Jesus.
You can't even see his
Can't even get in the screen.
Good Lord.
He's half a mile away now.
I thought it might have been like some weird metric number.
No,
at first. I'm
no.
like 7'1". Why isn't he over here playing basketball for God's sakes, making some money?
Because it's a freaking barbarian making money, dude. I'll take a freaking sword on my back over a basketball any day of the week.
Crazy.
Right on.
Just,
Wow.
just another bit of quick info is that the first time Finn and I, well, actually, I just had a flashback. The first time Finn and I were on a film set, he was like 2, and he was jumping off a stool shouting "Stunt baby." So he was kind of in the making already. But the first time we actually fought together side by side and against each other at one point,
Nice.
rolling around on the ground with my son, all 7 foot of him, 7'1", was the last duel. That was our first time together as father and son. You know,
Yeah, and you got me back with the NAD shot as well. Thanks very much.
I'm just thinking you should like go to like one of those WWE events over there and go kick somebody's ass.
Shout out to our friends over at Confused Breakfast Podcast. What's up, dude? Sexy as always. Thank you, man. I can't wait for you guys to be in Vegas and check out the new studio.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. And thanks for watching from Facebook. Yeah, we're live streaming across like every platform there is
Yeah.
right now, guys. We're on Rumble, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook,
Odyssey.
We're everywhere.
Wow.
So whatever your preferred platform is, we will be there.
I forget those are going.
I do
I don't
too.
even check on.
Like there's like 7 tabs on top of my computer. I'm like, oh, that's right. There's people other there too.
Hit the sub button on all of them.
Yeah,
guys.
please like and sub.
Follow.
and go check out these guys' website. I'm gonna post this link one more time in case anybody missed it.
Always put it in the comments.
I'm gonna
or
put it in the comments right now, and then I will. I'll put it in the description
Yeah.
for this video, and I'll also put it in the comments
Nice,
for
man.
future watch. But yeah, check out the website, and if you are in the UK or somewhere over there where it's not too far for you guys to get over to Scotland, definitely go check out Charlie and his boys and sign up for some of their classes to learn how to freaking fight like a barbarian and be in a movie. Because I'm super jealous. I want to do that so bad.
I'm stuck on who's the great big giant Scottish guy in WWE right now? Comes out with the
I don't
sword.
know. Do people watch WWE?
That's
No, yeah.
Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre. That's a dude you guys need to like get in school because he's a big mother, dude. He's huge.
Is he
Yeah,
bigger than
He's a
him?
midget compared to me.
I was gonna say. I'm like,
he's just enormous.
Yeah.
He's a good wrestler.
Yeah, Drew's a good guy. I've met him once before.
Have you?
I've
Nice.
met him one time. Yeah, I went to school with his cousin. Yeah, no, he's a cool dude. He's a cool
Right
dude.
on.
I think he's about 6'7". I think.
Oh, really?
6'6",
So you got
6'7".
you're like 4 inches on him.
Oh yeah. Hey, camera
Oh,
work,
I
buddy.
thought he was a 7-footer.
Camera makes everyone look bigger than they are.
Jesus.
I think it's funny that we're now going to refer to Finn as Stunt Baby.
Stunt baby.
Yeah.
Stunt baby.
7'1"
I'll take it.
stunt baby.
I'll take it.
Right on,
Yeah.
guys. Well, you guys have a great night. You are welcome on the channel anytime. We will put your logo on our TV happily. So if you have a movie that you want to promote, or if you want to come on just to hang out with us nerds, more than welcome. Just you guys have my number. Give me a call, and we'll hook something up.
Thanks a lot,
Will
man.
do. Thank you,
Thank you,
so
guys.
much.
Have a great
Will
night.
do. We'll keep you posted.
Yes, sir.
night,
Please
guys.
do.
Goodbye, Stunt Baby.
Stunt baby.
Well,
All
shit.
right.
Hashtag Stunt baby.
And you gotta say it like that. Stunt baby.
Stunt baby.
That's right, I'll be your stunt baby.
He's never gonna come back again. Those fucking salty nerds. God damn it.
Lane Stunt.
All right. What's the next topic on our list today?
Why was the dragon so fat? That's my next topic.
Because they were making fun of you.
That's bullshit.
Yeah,
man.
it's a fat dragon.
Who ever heard of a fat red dragon? That's nonsense.
Hashtag stunt baby. That's amazing.
Stunt baby.
Those guys are
Stunt baby.
great.
Yeah.
Those guys are awesome. Oh
Yeah.
man,
Yeah,
I love having them on. Yeah. All right, let's see. I think we got Star Wars to talk about, right?
We got Star
Mandalorian.
Wars.
Uh,
They had to go to bed. That's the way they live.
yeah, it's 10 o'clock at night for them, dude. They got shit to do.
Dude, I still got 2 hours on my work shift after 10 o'clock at night.
All right, let's see. We're going to continue on. We're talking Star Wars, Mandalorian. I want to know why the writers hate George Lucas.
I just want to know why they hate Star Wars.
So-
why do they hate good TV?
I don't know, dude. There's legitimately people out there who think that they just use Chat GPT to write the scripts for this
I
season,
kinda
and
think they do.
I'm like, you might not be wrong, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
this is a bit of a joke. And what really got me and why I picked this topic for today's live stream, and please comment. Just a reminder, guys, we will stop what we're talking about to shout out your super chats. So if you want to support the show, drop a super chat in there. If you have a question for us, if you have something else going on, what's up?
I said we're live right now.
Yeah.
And I'm floating.
Oh, you gotta pee?
I gotta go.
Go
out of the room.
pee, go pee, get out of here. I'll take the conversation
I'll
off
be
for
right
a little bit.
I'll be right back.
All right, cool. Skinny tiger, fat dragon. I think that might be your new hashtag, dude. Hashtag fat dragon. Anyway,
Fat dragon.
fat dragon and fat
Oh, no,
baby.
he turned on the lights.
Oh, it's okay. We'll get them in a minute. That's all right. These people understand. We have a motion detector that we haven't taken down yet for these lights. But so I'll talk to you about this, Kadish, because you're the writer. But I'm wondering why
Nadia says sleep Alorian.
Sleep-Alorian is super
It is
boring.
pretty bored, yeah.
What really bothered me about the latest episode is how they're treating the New Republic. Like, our heroes that we grew up with, Luke, Han, Leia, Lando, all these people, they destroyed the Empire so that the New Republic could take over and the universe could be better off. And how long does this take place? 5 years after that happened? It's only been 5 years.
No, that was season 1.
So we're like 6 years then?
Well, they're not very clear on the timeline. It could be as much as like 8 or 9 years.
That doesn't,
Afterwards.
I don't think that makes any sense. I don't
Nothing
think they
about
did-
this show makes sense.
They didn't do the
Alex.
math, did they?
Well, they just haven't been keeping track of continuity,
Mhm.
actually. Because, like, didn't Filoni come out and say that Grogu spent like 2 years with Luke?
Yeah, he's like,
training?
no, well, he like redoubled back on himself. He's like, well, it's between 1 and 2.5 years or something like that when he was doing that interview. And I'm like, so you don't know. That's just say you don't know then. Because like if he spent a year with Luke, that would put this 6 years after. But then he also said it might have been 2 years because there's a lot that happened in between.
Well,
Like
if you think
Book
about
of Boba Fett happened
yeah,
too.
seasons 1 and 2 of Mandalorian, that's at least a year.
Yeah.
And then, like, if he spent a year with Luke, it was what, like 2 years?
3 years after that, or maybe I don't. Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think anybody knows. The writers don't even know. But my question is, it's not that long for the New Republic to be around and be in charge, and they're already like torturing people and like lobotomizing them if they're not falling in line. Did you see that scene?
Yeah, but I mean, the New Republic was using it as like a relaxation method. And It
Yeah.
was like I did it myself, and it was quite pleasant.
It's a bit creepy though. They've got the guy strapped to a chair, and they've got like these freaking electrical shock things stuck to his head, and they're like, if you don't fall in line, we're gonna have to keep re-educating you.
But this is a J.J. Abrams thing, right? Because like he set the precedent of the New Republic being completely inept until it gets destroyed by the First Order.
Mm.
So like they're just showing us like, yeah, this is what happened. This is how they got to that point.
Yeah, it's so quick though.
But the crazy thing is Tim Meadows. It's like
Thank you.
Tim Meadows just shows up out of nowhere and he's just playing Tim
Oh,
Meadows.
dude, I could not unsee him go like, and you never once paid for drugs. Like, that's,
Wait,
all,
what?
that's all I could see.
Tim
The
Meadows.
dude from the Mandalorian, where he's like, I'm in requisitions, and you never once paid for drugs. Like,
yeah,
that's the kind of stuff that takes me out of the show, and I'm like, this isn't Star Wars. But I was telling Kadish, it irritates me that the New Republic is like like dumb.
They're idiots.
They're idiots, and they're almost just as bad as the Empire. Like, have re-education camps.
Yeah, they kind
And
of
like lobotomizing people. We got a $5 super chat from Astro Nerd Boy. He's also one of our newest patrons as well.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thank you so much. Incredibly generous.
He's a big Saturday shill.
Big, yeah.
Love
I'm
that
trying
dude.
to bring him over to my show. My show's better than the Saturday show.
No,
guys.
it's
Come
not.
on. Yeah,
Not really.
it's totally better. I don't have as well. I do have good guests too. I do have good guests. We just had Charlie and Finn on. All roads have lead to the prequels, so naturally the New Republic has to suck for the First Order can rise. I can see that, but it's been 5 years. Like, they can't have like it's 30-year gap between Return. Hold on, Return of the Jedi and the fucking what's that new movie called? Force Awakens. There's 30 years. You're telling me that 5 years into the New Republic and they're already crap? Like, they couldn't give them 15, give them half the time before they start falling apart. 20, you know.
I just simply go along with the fact that big government just
sucks.
There's too much bureaucracy, and
Yeah.
I mean, and this is a galaxy-wide government. Imagine how much bureaucracy is going on with all the paperwork and all the nonsense. Yeah, it's awful. I mean, I kind of understand what maybe they're trying to go for, but they haven't really even said that that's what they're doing. It just seems like it's just poorly put together.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Tim Meadows is a friend of mine. He wants to be on the show. Can you do some stunt casting in
Well,
or somewhere?
didn't they have a
Get
Saturday
out of
Night Live guy in season 1? Played like the Mandalorian's first bounty. Forget his
No,
name.
he.
Oh no, that was
There was a comedic
Slayer.
There was a comedic actor who played like a taxi driver.
Horatio
Yeah.
Sands. Horatio Sands was in.
Was he?
the
Oh, he
first
was.
season.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this a
Yeah.
reoccurring thing?
We're
Just get
talking-
SNL people?
I guess. But we're talking about Bert.
Kreischer.
No, Bert Kreischer. No, I don't think he would ever.
It's Bert something. I forget.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I just think it's super weird. I'm like, why are we going through this
Well,
path of like the New Republic?
They did cast Bill Burr, who's another comedian.
Yeah, but his character was actually pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
that was one of my favorite
Bill
things
Burr is
of season
actually
2.
legit.
And that was also like the best episode of the entire series.
Yeah.
Right? Where like he basically teams up with the other criminals to
Mhm.
do a jailbreak.
Yeah. I mean, I've enjoyed, I'd say, probably a good portion of the Mandalorian season 1 and 2. I mean, it's got holes in it, and there's like cheesy Dave Filoni type stuff going on, but it's okay because it's balanced out with some pretty in depth and
No,
pretty cool storylines.
we're full on
They-
Clone Wars episodes now.
Yeah, they've turned a corner in season 3. Like,
Yeah.
they just stopped giving a crap, and
Yeah.
there's so many decisions that they made. We've talked about his decision like last season. He's finally over his whole like cultist thing, and he takes his helmet off. But now in this season, he's like, I need to put my helmet back on. And then in the newest episode, spoiler alert, Bo-Katan, the armorer, is like, go ahead and take your helmet off. It's cool now. It's fine. I'm like,
Well, she
what?
has to bridge the gap. Don't make me make excuses for the show. What are you doing, man?
I want to know what they're thinking.
I
Like, put
understood
the helmet
that.
on, take the helmet off, put the helmet on, take the helmet
like-
off. Like, what are we doing, guys?
It's like, you're cool with the way, but you need to take your helmet off so you can get the other tribes in, and we can go take our home back. Which I
Well-
don't know why it's so hard to take their home back. They just
There's
need to go
nobody
land-
there.
Let's go land your ship on the planet.
The oxygen's
All right,
breathable.
claim it for Mandalore.
Yeah.
Be done, right?
Yeah.
Go kill the
Like,
Morlocks
Mando-
and be done with it.
Mando already proved that the planet is inhabitable. Like, he
Yeah.
gets there, he's like, oh, the air is breathable. Okay. That's all you needed to do.
Yeah.
Just go back. Everybody's like, well, we know you don't have a home planet, but you have a home on Navarro. And I'm like, but their home is fine. And there's,
Yeah.
there's nobody there.
There's a whole bunch of shit there, but we can recycle.
You can
right?
just redo it.
Yeah.
And they've literally got that planet nearby that has like plenty of resources and
Yeah.
stuff that they can go back and forth with.
Yeah, I'm really scratching my head on what they're doing.
It doesn't.
with this
It
show.
doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
But the armor didn't agree to let Bo-Katan kind of like walk in both worlds until she accepted the fact that the mythosaur still lives.
Yeah. Real quick, we got a Facebook user. I apologize. I don't know why Facebook doesn't transfer your account information.
Because
but-
they're not signed into their Facebook account.
Oh, okay. So thanks so much for the opportunity to meet you and your community, guys. Had a blast. Thank you
Yeah.
for joining us on Facebook. We appreciate it. And if you want to continue to hang out with our community, go to saltinerdiscord.com, join our Discord server. We have a ton
Yep.
of fun over there. And there's a close to 300 people in that.
Getting there.
Getting there.
Getting there, yeah.
It's a lot of
Slowly
fun.
grows.
We watch movies and we stream video games. And if we have spare time on our hands, we go and hang out with our Discord people. So join up over there. Anyway. It depends on how much money they paid Pedro to be on set. Yeah, he's at this point, I think he's just recording his stuff at home, isn't he?
Well, he doesn't really have to be there.
Yeah, he does like, oh, there's a stunt guy in my costume, and every once in a while I'll show up and do like one scene with my helmet off. So maybe is that why they're doing the helmet thing again? So they're like, Pedro's like, I don't want to be on set for this stuff. I just want to get a paycheck.
I mean, he's too busy making the same show over with plant zombies.
Well, that's done now, isn't it? Isn't season 1 over?
I don't know when they were filming this show, when they were filming that show.
Yeah, so
Maybe.
Pedro Pascal wasn't actually on set for season 3. Like he just recorded his dialogue.
Ever?
Yeah.
So we're never going to see him at all.
I don't think so. Not this season. I mean, he might show up for a scene or
Isn't that
something.
silly?
Like that.
That's so dumb.
Why have the job?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just going to do a cartoon,
He's literally voice acting.
he's
his own
voice
character.
acting his own character.
That's funny.
That's, I mean, I guess get your money, but at the same time, it's kind of a detriment to the rest of the show. Like, once you take the helmet off and we know it's Pedro Pascal,
Man,
you
as
need to
long-
show up.
Listen, as long as we can get, Grogu in there and get like 16 new Funko. pop
How'd you
sets.
feel about his little flip maneuver?
The stupidest thing I think I've ever seen.
Bro,
That was awful.
with his little dart gun. Pachoo, pachoo.
I'm sorry. I'm just coughing.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. That was egregiously dumb.
Like,
Watching him like
but
go up
and they gave him wrist rockets.
a wrist rocket
and-
on his tiny little wrist.
So my question is, so like the other kid, that should have been died in the
Yeah, 'cause he got eaten by the monster.
Eaten by the monster and digested for 48 hours while,
While
while
he
his
took a
family
nap.
was while his family was down there at the campfire telling stories. He got to shoot him one at a time, and he go point, right?
Yeah.
Point, winner, and then they do it again. But Grogu cheats and shoots him 3 times at once, and he gets the win. Why didn't the other guy just go and shoot
Well,
him 3 times?
when they were doing the rules, they said that like you can shoot them as many times as you want, like and win. It's just that the bigger kid
Stopped
chose
after
not
one.
to. I guess.
That seems convenient. I didn't even think about that,
Mhm.
honestly. I was just surprised he was still alive after being eaten. Speaking of those monsters, remember when they took the babies and they put them on Bo-Katan's ship and they were like, we have new foundlings that need to be trained. And the like little babies come crawling out of her ship. Remember that scene?
Oh, the baby birds.
The baby birds.
Yeah,
The Raptors.
Where are they?
they're
Did they leave them?
they're hanging out in the bird pen that we don't see.
On Navarro. So did they
guess.
take them to Navarro? I'm getting an
They're
echo.
hanging out with the Crocosaurs.
The Crocosaurus.
Out there on that fancy beach,
What'd you think about
the most unsafe beach on the planet
Yeah.
ever.
Well, they're not there anymore because they moved to
Well,
Navarro.
that's where they do their training.
And
Yeah.
to talk about like the plot convenience of like the ranger who just happened to work with the droid that Mandalorian bought off of like
Very
the
small universe.
scrap the scrap broker on
That was dude.
Tatooine.
That's R5 from A New Hope.
No,
Okay,
no squeezy.
respect the.
No squeezy. No squeezy. Yeah.
Is that really how they found him though? Huh? He was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, yeah, I tracked you using R5. He was with me during the rebellion." Like, there's a little nugget, a little member berry there.
There's only one thing I liked about this episode.
What was it?
It was that we got to see Zeb
Yeah.
from Rebels. Apparently Zeb got tired of hanging out with his family in the hidden whatever world that they went to
I never
in
watched Clone
Rebels.
Wars or Rebels. I mean,
Well, yeah, he gathered his people and they all found the new home planet
really?
in this secret mist place through the universe. And
He bounced.
and he said, "All right, I'm getting out of there." It's for story contrivance.
Yeah.
He has to come back and we get a live action Zeb. But
Was that confirmed to
regardless-
be Zeb, or was it just somebody
No,
of
it's
his same
Zeb.
species?
I'm pretty sure it's Zeb. I think they even had the same voice actor. People
Okay.
can clue me in. But I did like how that turned out.
Okay, it did look.
I did like how. I mean, we're clearly getting a Rebels reunion here pretty soon.
Hmm.
Like Kara's already been confirmed, and I know Sabine is coming, and Ezra's been cast. And I think a lot of this is going to be going on in the Ahsoka show, which is
Okay.
I think it's going to end up being the search for Ezra or something.
Do you think that's going to turn out better
But-
than this? Do you think Dave Filoni is going to put? Is that maybe that's why this season sucks, because he's putting all his energy into the new.
But honestly, right
Ahsoka
now,
show.
If Ahsoka ends up being Rebels season new,
Yeah,
fine. But it'll be weird. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be very strange. But this season of The Mandalorian is just beyond awful.
you know, like
It's only like 8 episodes, right? We're like
Yeah.
5 episodes in.
nothing's really happened.
Nothing's
Yeah.
happening.
What do you think about the return of Captain Keltbeard?
I'm glad he's dead.
Oh, I was gonna lead up to that, but okay.
No, I'm glad he's dead. I'd rather see Miss Piggy. Captain Farnsworth or whatever, Porkbeard, whatever the hell his name
Captain
is.
Kelpbeard.
On give me more Muppet Show.
I have no idea. What
Pigs
it is.
in space.
It was a good fight scene though. The spaceship fight scene through the canyon.
It better be.
It was cool.
Star Wars. It better be good.
That was the best part of it. To me, that was the best part. That was that, and then the assault on the town where they rode out all the pirates with the Mandalorians.
I was wondering why Grief Karga, knowing about like being an independent city state and pirates and stuff, why he didn't have like defenses on the ground that could like shoot stuff out of the sky like that.
Oh, it's a peaceful town, I guess.
Yeah,
that's it.
In middle pirate territory. I don't know.
The guy ran bounty hunters. He knows how dangerous everything is.
Yeah, he should have.
Why did he need a school? All these kids.
It's not a bar anymore.
All these kids hanging out in this pirate town. Yeah, I don't know. I have a hard time even talking about Star Wars.
I can tell. I'm like, I'm really trying to get you to talk about it, and you're just like,
it's so bad.
Is that what it is now?
It's just bad. It's just I watch it because
you have to talk about it. I think that's the only reason I watch it now.
Yeah.
It's because I want to be able to know what to talk about when somebody says something.
I don't. It's like I'm always gonna watch just because I want to know what happens, but I'm not gonna like it. If it's good, I will. I'll say so. I'll like it.
Yeah.
I have no problem being truthful about my opinions on things. Sometimes they're unpopular. Wick for, and it is what it is. This isn't good. It's not good television. It feels like the F boys, Filoni and Favreau, have checked out. Feels like they're not invested in this show anymore.
I think maybe it's Disney's like, you can't get rid of Baby Yoda because they tried to get rid of him
twice.
Oh
no, they can't because he sells all the merch.
Yeah, and they're like, you can't get rid of it. He's like, yeah, but that storyline's over. He goes with Luke and he leaves.
Yeah,
and now Mandalorian goes on more adventures, and they're like, no. Bring Baby Yoda
I'm
back.
like 100% convinced he wasn't supposed to be in there past season 2.
Yeah,
he's supposed to go off with Luke and fuck off, and then we get him in the new trilogy as teenage Grogu. In 10 years from now, I can just see the opening scene of whatever the new movie would be a grown and matured Grogu. You just kind of like see his hand with his claws with a lightsaber.
Grab Yoda's old lightsaber.
And then they pan out and there's like baby Groot kind of thing.
Now he's grown.
Now he's teenage Yoda. And we're like, whoa, that's pretty cool. And he's out there training with
that would be better than
Luke in his training.
Somebody
or he's training with his sparring partner Kylo or some shit. That would be really neat.
You mean Ben?
Yeah.
Ben, because he would be like, I guess. Yeah, he could have that. That'd be interesting.
Maybe Grogu's teaching Ben how to
be a dark side user. Like, hey man, let me hit you up with some of these drugs and you'll have some real nightmares. And then Luke is like, you had nightmares?
Nightmares equals death. Right?
Nightmares, death. Grogu's over here like, let me sell you some of this green powder. You'll be freaking tripping balls in no time. Luke's freaking out.
There's a chat in here I want to address.
Yeah, go for it.
It's completely off topic. It was useful to hear you two like Dungeons and Dragons, as I was 100% not going to see that until I saw your short saying it was reasonably fun.
Yeah.
I had no expectations going into this movie.
Neither did I.
It was just, why am I getting an echo?
I think it's your tablet.
It was just a goofy. It was just a goofy, fun movie. I didn't have any expectations going into this movie, and I appreciated the fact that they stayed faithful to most of what I remember from Dungeons and Dragons. They had displacer beasts in this thing, gelatinous cubes, mimic chests, intellect devours.
Yeah,
these are things that if you don't know Dungeons and Dragons, you don't know what the fuck you're looking at. You look at you just go, that's the goofiest thing I've ever seen on television before. Dark or cats,
dude. The brain dog
tentacles and stuff. Yeah,
the brain dog things. What are they? Intellect in something or other?
Intellect devours.
Intellect devours. Yeah. Just exit out. You don't need that anymore, right?
No, I'm on something else.
Okay. Why are we getting an echo? That's so weird. I had no idea what half that stuff was. But as a newcomer to D&D, I'm watching it, and they do enough explanation for me to be like, oh, that's what that is. Like when those little brain dog things came out, they were like, oh, those are this, and this is what they do if they get too close to you. And I was like, oh, okay. And then they just moved on to something else. So I'm like, I'm learning as I'm watching the movie. So it's not it's not to the point where you have to be a D&D fan to understand what's going on, because I was able to watch it and figure it out, and I was like, oh, okay, those are the chests that look like a chest, but they're really a monster. Okay, cool, right on.
Mhm.
And then the weird cat things with the holographic freaking tentacles. I was like, all right, cool, right? Like, I was able to follow along very easily. I was not confused at any point in time. They did a great job of explaining the universe that it was within. What was your favorite scene from that movie?
My favorite scene from the movie.
Mine was the graveyard sequence.
Oh, 100%.
That shit was hilarious.
That was funny.
So funny.
That was funny. It's like, oh, we got this spell where we can
Ask him 5 questions.
ask them 5 questions, but they don't die again
Yeah.
until they get the 5 questions. Yeah, that was a good gag. I like that. Nadia, $10 super chat from Nadia. I like that they placed D&D monsters as part of the story, not just to put them in there for the sake of it. Yeah, for sure. Totally agree with her.
Mm-hmm. It was well worth it. And I said before, there was actually a moment, I didn't say this in front of Charlie and Finn because I didn't want to be a bitch, but there was a moment at the end of the movie when they were doing like the montage flashback of the lady raising the daughter.
Uh-huh.
I kind of choked up a little bit.
Oh,
I got the feels. I'm like, I don't know anything about these characters, and I'm sitting here going, that's a pretty heartfelt part moment, right? That was a good part of the movie.
You know, to me, this movie is just it's just one of those movies that is just fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you can clearly see that they followed the rules for their inclusivity and all.
Oh, they checked all the boxes.
They checked all the boxes, but for some reason, it didn't seem.
You want to know what the reason was?
Forced to me.
I know what the reason is.
So,
because they never once mentioned anything about it.
Yeah, they were just there.
They were just there. They were part of the character. And for me, because this is like a fantasy universe and it's based off of a tabletop game, when I look at these people, like you got Chris Pine and you've got all the other actors who like you said, they check all the boxes as far as the
they
Hollywood.
Certainly did.
They check all the boxes, but to me, what I saw is just people who actually play the tabletop games. These are like their avatars. Yeah, that's kind of how I saw it. Like, oh yeah, there's the nerdy kid who's not really sure of himself. I mean, he's the wizard.
That dude didn't look like no wizard I've ever seen before, but okay, whatever.
But his character was interesting enough, and he wasn't like all powerful. He learned how to use his powers. By the end of the movie, you were like, yeah, I'm on his side.
There's clearly elements of new Dungeons and Dragons that I don't get. A lot of these character classes and these races that these people were playing, I had no clue what they were. Like the little chick with the horns and the tail and all this.
Oh, that's a new thing?
The druid. I had no idea what she is.
Oh, okay.
She wasn't around the second edition, I'll tell you that much. So yeah.
Cool,
unless she was an NPC.
The shapeshifter.
Well, she was a druid. That's a druid thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I liked her owl bear thing.
Yeah,
freaking creepy.
Owlbears are real.
Owlbears are real?
Yeah.
Dude, that thing when it was like knocking people down and it like turned its head and like cocked it like that legitimately was like, ugh. There was a couple of jump scares in this movie too. Yeah. That actually got me. There's like 1 or 2 and I was like, Jesus, that's freaking creepy. That red witch lady was weird.
Yeah.
Like there was a moment where like her eyes like sunk back into her skull and she was like looking at you like through. Oh, it was that moment. It was the pod people moment. The shapeshifter lady was trying to escape and she turned into a fly real quick. Yeah. And the red witch lady like looked right at the camera and like broke the fourth wall and was like, rah! Like screamed at you. That legitimately freaked me out. I was like, Jesus, that's creepy.
Nadia says she's a tiefling.
Tiefling?
I have no idea what a tiefling is.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe losing a little bit of my nerd cred, but I don't remember them. So yeah,
this is 100%. Folks tend to be fine with inclusivity in movies. They just don't like being when the movie is all about inclusivity. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they never mentioned it once.
It was never forced.
Never forced. It was just like, hey, these are our characters, and we're gonna have some fun with it. I was like, okay, cool, let's go. Kadish, you haven't really mentioned much about what you thought. Do you have a favorite moment? I know you said it was too long, but tell me about the movie.
I did like the kind of emotional payoff at the end.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but that was like a very serious moment in a kind of like, flight of fantasy movie. And I saw it coming from a mile away, but it was like, okay, I can see where this is going.
Yeah.
So it was good. And I loved Hugh Grant. I thought he was a standout in the film.
He definitely pulled out all the stops. What are you laughing at?
I felt like I think it was when we watched the intro to the movie.
Oh yeah.
It was like, thank you. You're fans in the movie theater, and you're
Mhm.
watching the movie. How
Oh,
it's
that was so
supposed to be."
cringe.
That was so cringy.
And he's just like, I don't give a fuck.
He does it, dude. So for context, if you go and see this in the theaters, I'm not sure if this happens at every theater. I'm assuming it does. I'm sure it's part of the package when you get the movie.
Just remember, you're the real hero.
You're the real heroes. I was like, what is this, a PSA or something? Like they had all
Thanks for spending money on a movie theater ticket.
they had, well, I think, who was it that started that trend? I think it was Tom Cruise
Yeah, it might have
with
been Tom Cruise.
Maverick when he did that. So if you watch Maverick in
But
theaters,
that was not cringe.
it wasn't cringe because he was genuinely like, thank you. Because it was right off of COVID. He's like,
Yeah.
thank you for coming back to the movies. We really appreciate it. Hope you have a great time. He set this trend, which I don't mind the trend. I think it's a good thing. But you can obviously
I could
tell
do that.
they had all the main actors sitting in like a thing, and they obviously had a teleprompter because you could see their eyes reading their script. They're like, thank you for coming to the movie tonight and spending your hard-earned money. You are the real hero for coming to the theater today to support our careers. And I'm like, oh my God, guys, put some freaking effort into it. And Hugh Grant was the worst one out of all of them. He's just like, yeah, thanks so much. See you at the movies. He just didn't give a crap.
Right.
that was like,
it looked like they grounded the whole cast
yeah.
out at like 8 o'clock at night out of their trailers on the set. Hey guys, I need you to come here and do this thing really quick. But I'm not dressed. Doesn't matter. Just throw something on and come out here and do this.
Chris Pine didn't even have any socks on.
He had
He
these
just had
weird
slippers
He
on
had
or
this
something.
weird outfit on. It was like it was fun.
I thought it was funny. Like if you want to thank the audience for coming to the theater, I get it. That's a good thing to do. I think it's
Yeah,
nice. But these guys obviously didn't give a crap.
Do we need that?
We don't
Do
need
we,
it.
is that something we want? I don't think I want that.
No? Does it
No.
break the fourth wall for
a
you?
little,
Okay.
a little
All right.
bit, a little bit,
A little bit.
a little bit. It's like, yeah, we know you're
Yeah.
thankful for your millions
Your
of dollars,
millions of dollars you got paid
and
to
your
do this
Hollywood
thing.
Hills mansions,
Yeah,
and you're just shut up and dance,
Dance
okay?
monkey dance.
I don't care.
I did think that was pretty cringe. But what I was leading into that was like he obviously didn't give a crap when he did that scene. But throughout the movie, Hugh Grant, I felt like was having fun.
He was all right.
He seemed like he was thoroughly enjoying being this like wretched character. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see.
It's kind of funny because I look at a movie like this and I go, no legit actor wants to be in a movie like this. But
Yeah,
then there's
Except
Chris
for
Pine.
Jeremy Irons.
Chris Pine, it's just like, well, see, that's the thing. That's the thing, though. This movie, I hope
Oscar nominee.
yeah, I hope
Oscar
this
winner.
movie is successful because I want it to launch into like I want to see more of these. I want to see a legit Dragonlance movie that's with a budget.
Mhm.
You know, these old D&D movies with Jeremy Irons and people,
Is there more than one?
they're terrible. They're awful movies.
I've never seen it.
Oh, they're like
Should we review them for the movie?
we could
For the
It might
podcast?
be kind of fun.
It'd be kinda
Like,
fun.
remember
They,
some
they
things we
came
think.
out around the time of the Phantom Menace.
They're just-
Okay.
And
they're
so
just-
like they're really, really bad. It was basically like some guy who'd never made a movie before got his hands on the D&D rights.
Mhm.
And he cast Marlon Wayans and
Ugh.
like Jeremy Irons. And it
Marlon
was so
Wayans?
bad. Yes, Marlon
Yeah,
Wayans,
Marlon Wayans.
That's somebody you
the
don't see.
bankable movie star.
All right. That's interesting. I would highly suggest go checking it out in theaters. I had a great time.
Yeah, I did too.
Let's see. There was a chat that I wanted to bring
What would
up,
you
I
give it
forgot
for
what
a score?
I say probably solid 3.5.
Yeah,
I had a really good time. I would watch it again.
yeah, me too.
Like it would be I would go to the theater to watch it. What I'm trying to
would
say.
you? I don't know if I'd go back to the theater.
Because like I know my wife wants to go see it, and we don't always get to go see movies because we got kids and stuff like that. It's kind of a hassle to go to the movies and spend
Yeah.
3 hours there. But for this one, I know she wants to see it. I'm like, yeah, I'd go watch it again. I think it was that much fun that I'd sit and watch it in theaters again. It's got good heart, it's got good story, and everything was kind of it all kind of worked really well.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. It was surprising for me because I did not expect it. I mean, there's you can find articles and tweets and stuff from the people who made the movie. They're like super cringe and they're like, wow, this is a D&D for the new era. And I'm like, oh God, like it's all the red flags
Just
that you
stop.
see from other shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's going to be woke propaganda nonsense. But you go to see the movie and it's like, no, it's genuinely just a good fun movie.
Mhm.
So it was weird to see them like try and market it that way. But then when you actually watched it, it was completely different. Let's see. Do we want to switch topics? I know we went from Star Wars and then back to D&D because apparently nobody wants to talk about Star Wars.
One more thing from Nadia.
Yeah, what's up?
13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas. He plays the Arabian that descends into Nordic
Mhm.
lands and ends up fighting alongside them against cultists. Legit D&D vibes, absolutely, 100% D&D vibes on there, but with a serious overtone.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's one of my favorite movies of all
We
time.
we-
actually reviewed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we reviewed it.
I love that movie. I can watch that movie 10 times a year.
Remember the spit bowl that they were passing
Oh
around?
God, yes.
It's great.
Oh hell yeah.
I did like that movie. I
Yeah.
always thought that
Antonio.
Antonio Banderas is so
Yeah.
sexy.
So sexy.
I always thought that the creatures at the end, because like there's like this weird mythology around them at the beginning of the movie. They think they're like beasts and mythical things, and then at the end of the movie they realize they're just like cave people or something like that. I always thought it would be really cool if it was some kind of a mythological creature type
Yeah.
thing. I always thought that would have been a really cool turn for that movie, because it would have been a little bit more of a fantasy vibe to it. That would have been nice. You need to review both 2000s D&D rolls and a natural one. That's gonna be tough. What does that mean? Rolls a natural. I feel like
that's a
natural one is like rolling
when
of the
when
dice.
when you roll your 20-sider,
Yeah.
and you roll a 1, it's called, well, it used to be kind of what it is now, but it's called a fumble.
Okay.
It's like when you're like rolling to hit, right? It's like I got my axe. It's like I attack the dragon with my axe. It's like I spent a long time since I played it.
Yeah.
Okay, roll your attack roll. And you know, you have to roll a 12, and plus you get well, I'm a strong, so I get a +2 to my hit, right? So yeah, so you got to get 12. You have to get a 10 or higher to hit. You roll your 20-sided dice, and you roll a 1. And you go, oh, you rolled a 1, fumble. Right? So then you gotta go on the then the dungeon master goes, roll your fumble dice, right? And I think it's a 10-sider or maybe another 20-sider. I don't know.
Okay.
But he has a fumble chart,
Yeah.
and nothing good is on the fumble chart. It's like you stab yourself in your toe, or you fall down and you hit your head on the wall, and you take 8 points of damage, or a good dungeon master will rewrite the fumble chart with the goofiest shit,
Okay.
and it's all flavor. But yeah,
It sounds like a lot of fun, dude. I wish I had
It
the
is
time
fun.
to dedicate to playing a game like that. It sounds
Yeah.
like a
I mean, we
blast.
could change our channel to a D&D
No,
channel. We'd probably do a lot better.
Probably.
Got the noob, the old timer, and like playing D&D together. We could set this whole table up
This would
Drunk
this would
D&D.
be-
to the fat cam. Yeah, drunk
Yeah.
D&D. This whole table could be like a big map of the world or whatever.
Naughty has been bugging us the whole chat. We need to do like a one-time D&D session. But yeah,
If she can hold my hand throughout the whole thing, I'm down, because I don't know what the heck I'm
we'll
doing.
invite Todd Stashwick to come play with us.
Does he play D&D?
Oh my,
Oh, dude, he's a huge.
I didn't get a
Yes.
chance to watch that
he
live
has his
stream
own
with him.
brand of tabletops. He has a table.
Does he hang out with Joe Manganiello or whatever his name is?
That would be epic. That would be epic.
Get them
He
all
has
out
his own-
here.
Yeah,
I'm
but,
down. Teach me. One shot salty
The
nerd
problem
campaign.
is, it's just another super expensive hobby. I don't. want
Is
to
it
do.
expensive?
Oh yeah,
Why is it expensive?
he's got to buy all the shit. All
What do you
all
need to
the
buy?
books, all the source material. You don't understand. These hobbies. They go, well, all you really need is this book.
Why do you put your nerd
All-
voice on when you talk about
is
it?
this book and a piece of paper and a pencil.
Right, yeah.
Okay. 6 months later, you've spent $4,000 on miniatures and books and dice and
Okay.
rulers and shit to put on your wall and a cool table.
And you're wearing a
It's-
hood.
And you're wearing a hood.
And you got
your
a staff
costume.
next to you.
It's nonsense. I lived it. I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Critical Role spent thousands of dollars on a set
Yeah.
to make it look like.
But it's
they
like,
were in
and I was one of
D&D.
those guys. I was one of those guys. It's like, you don't touch my fucking dice. My dice are mine.
So each player has their own?
Well, they're supposed to. If they're
Okay.
good, yeah, you know. And I'll roll a dice, and my brother or some other asshole will come in and go, touch. Like literally, that's all. Touch. I'm touching your dice. Garbage.
You throw them away?
Oh fuck yeah! I
Why?
just throw him in the dice of useless, the jug of useless, because he sucked all the mojo out of him. Then I gotta go spend. I don't even know what they cost now. Probably $20.
Let me find
But
out.
back then, I used to spend. It was like $5 on a new set of dice.
To Amazon.
It's like, you know, never touch another man's dice. That was my number one rule.
Look, D&D dice is the
Yeah.
first thing that comes up. Let's see.
Yeah.
$25.
What? Seriously? $25 for dice? So, well, there you go. That's just for
Well, I
dice.
mean, that's a pretty legit set. They look like they're
Yeah,
carved out of
well,
wood.
They are. They're all really cool. They're all really
These ones are $31. You can get, there's a $9 set. You can get like
Yeah.
freaking 30 of them, 35 pieces for $9.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that.
I mean, but you know, there's all the source books. There's the player's guide. There's the dungeon master's guide. There's the fiend folio, the monster manual, the I mean, I don't even know what all they have nowadays. I'm sure it's still pretty close to the same.
Yeah.
But and you can probably get all this stuff online, but you want the physical shit. I want the stuff to be in my hand. So, and I do kind of find it interesting now that how big of a resurgence Dungeons and Dragons has had, and I have a problem with it because Wizards of the Coast, the parent company for Dungeons and Dragons, is a pile of shit.
Oh no,
they are the wokest fucking company. It is ridiculous.
I'm wondering,
I can't give them my money. I just can't.
I'm wondering how many people that this movie is going to get into D&D. If there's going to be like a little bit of a uptick in people jumping in.
Yeah,
we are losing watchers.
Well, no, that's all right.
We're talking about D&D, and people are like, "Nah, I'm out."
Okay. We've been going for a while.
Yeah, we have been going for a while. This is longer than we normally do. We're at almost 2 hours. Thanks everybody for being in the chat. I see you guys there. You guys are awesome. Nadia, thank you for sticking with us.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview with Charlie and Finn. Those guys are awesome. I had a lot of fun talking to them. What else? What else did I want to talk about? And there was something else about Star Wars, but I'm kind of over talking about Star Wars. Yeah. Okay. So there's
I get about 15 minutes a week I can dedicate.
I'm like, Mando sucks. Wolf, water's wet. This is what it is.
Snow is cold.
Snow is cold. Anybody care about the new live action Lilo and Stitch remake that they're doing?
Not one bit.
Not one bit.
Not
I
one
love
bit.
Lilo and Stitch. That movie is awesome. That's a legitimately good Disney animated movie.
I don't do Disney.
Live action remake now. And I'm like,
They just needed to do it before The Rock gets too old to do movies anymore.
well, no, that he's doing Moana. Lilo and Stitch is different. I don't think The Rock's doing Lilo and Stitch.
I don't know.
So there's two Hawaiian live action movies.
Oh,
going
that's
on.
right. I get those two confused.
Yeah, Moana, they're doing a live action
I
version of
haven't
it too.
seen either of them.
You ever seen Moana? They're both pretty good.
I don't have my kids
Yeah,
around.
you don't have kids anymore. I do, but Mario. That's right, dude. I think Mario is going to be the biggest movie of the year.
Absolutely. I'm super excited for Mario.
Yeah, I think it's going to top all the charts. I don't think anybody's going to top it. I don't even think Dune 2 is going to come close. Because Dune 2 is coming out this year, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's going to be Mario and Dune.
What about Indiana Jones?
Nope, it's going to flop. I bet you it's going to flop. Maybe not. Oh,
I think it's not going to flop, but
it's
going to
underperform.
underperform.
Yeah, it's going to underperform. Not by maybe there's going to be people out there like, oh,
Maybe it'll,
they're going to be crunching the numbers on their calculators going, it technically made money.
Did you guys hear how much it cost to make?
It's probably got to make $1 billion to break even.
Yeah.
After marketing.
How much was it, Kadish?
It was $350 million.
That's just
to make that movie. That's
what's
just the production.
What's their marketing budget?
Double it.
Probably like at least 200 million. So
yeah.
We'll have to ask Odin.
I don't do box office stuff because I honestly I feel like half that stuff is made up anyway. They're just like, yeah, just throw a number out there. People will believe it.
I feel like I at least owe it to James Mangold to tell him his movie's a piece of shit, if it or not. So
well, we have to go see it.
Yeah,
we have to, especially just because of what we did with that whole incident. What was it 2 years ago now?
That was wild.
I still think it's weird that they never made a fourth Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it's super weird. They went from 3 to 5. This is so strange. Very weird. What is it called? The Pick of Destiny or something like that? No, that's a Tenacious D movie.
I was going to say that's Jack Black.
That's Jack Black. What is this movie called? I can't remember.
The Dial of Destiny.
Dial of Destiny. Okay, right on.
Wonder Boy, Nasty Man. Wonder Boy and Nasty Man.
Oh man,
Stunt Baby.
Stunt Baby.
Stunt Baby.
Stunt Baby.
Stunt Baby.
Finn's gonna fucking kill me. Oh, I'm gonna get to Scotland. He's gonna be like, "What did you call me?"
Oh, his dad called him that.
I know.
Stunt Baby.
Baby.
Just throw him up there. He's probably 6 feet taller than anyway.
Oh Jesus!
Just hit him in his wee nads.
You're
Not so tall now, are you?
7'1".
God,
That's obnoxiously ridiculous.
It's freaking retarded. Dude, it's so big. He wouldn't even fit in this room.
What pisses me off is he looks like a normal dude.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't look like a 7'1" weirdo with a gland problem. He's just like he's just a big dude. It's like Jesus Christ.
Gland problem.
You know, most people that big got
He's
got like a pituitary gland that's out of whack.
How tall was Andre the Giant?
Oh, he's like 7 foot.
Nadia says dialysis of destiny.
Yeah.
Andre the Giant. No, that's not Andre. Hold on a second. Let me see how tall. Keep talking. You guys need to fill the airspace while I'm doing this.
Andre the Giant. I think he was 7 foot. 500 pounds.
7'4".
7'4".
Dude, Andre the Giant was 7'4". Finn is 7'1". He's only 3 inches shorter than Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Good God.
I need Danny here right now, but I've been watching wrestling. It was WrestleMania weekend, right? And Brock Lesnar, who is a big dude.
Yeah, Brock's huge.
Brock's like 6'5".
He's a tank.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
He wrestled this big Nigerian dude named Omos at WrestleMania, who made Brock Lesnar look like he was a wee little tiny man. It was wild.
I have a message for Farnsworth. No.
Review the original. No, that's never going to happen.
I've been trying to get these guys to do that for a while now. They keep overruling me.
The answer is a hard no. What did you guys think about the Barbie trailer? Didn't see it. Feel weird watching that stuff.
I haven't seen it.
When it comes out, all 4 of us are going to go see it, and we're going to title the video "Middle-aged Men Go See the Barbie."
3 middle-aged men go to see Barbie.
I'm totally down with that, but we have to bring Tom with us.
Definitely bringing Tom.
4 middle-aged men go to see Barbie.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the trailer. What we did watch the trailer for.
They were growing. We got more people now.
Excellent. Extraction 2 with Chris Hemsworth. Me and Kadish watched that trailer. Dude, you watched the first one.
That was the Hemsworth one where he's like the mercenary.
Yes.
And they did all the one-shot shit,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
The first Extraction was
that was
thing of
fun.
beauty.
It was
pretty
excellent.
good.
It was
I
a
liked it.
fantastic
One of the
movie.
best action movies ever.
Would you rate the Extraction?
Really, ever?
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen. Yeah, totally. Would you put, let me ask you this. I'm going to pose it to the chat as well. I want to hear your thoughts on this, guys. You put John Wick 1, the first John Wick movie, versus Extraction.
Oh, Wick.
Wick?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's kind of a hard call for me.
No, I think Wick's like almost the perfect action movie.
I think
The first
Extraction's pretty much a perfect action movie. And I think
It is.
I
It's
might go as far as saying that I think the fight scenes and the stunt choreography in Extraction is better than the Wick movies. I feel nervous. I feel nervous saying that. The fight choreography and the stunts and the camera work in Extraction is better than in John Wick 1.
I think it's apples and oranges.
Think so?
I think
Two different
it's
styles?
Two different styles.
I prefer Extraction then.
Okay.
I feel weird saying that because I love the first John
No,
Wick movie,
I like both movies.
yeah.
I really do. I just I think I need to rewatch Extraction because I've only watched it the one time.
I'll tell you one thing. It's a toss up between John Wick 1 and Extraction, but between Extraction and John Wick 2, 3, and 4, I got to go with Extraction.
But here's the thing, and this is the only reason I'm going with Wick. When I want to watch an action movie, my brain just goes, "Hey, let's go watch Wick." I've seen Wick probably a dozen times in the last couple of years.
That's fair because I only watched Extraction once.
Extraction never even comes into my brain.
Yeah.
You know what, though?
So
Like
that'll-
watching the trailer for the sequel, I was like, fuck, I need to go back and watch Extraction.
And we probably will. We'll do it on a Monday night some night.
Did we review Extraction?
Yes,
yeah,
we
we
did.
reviewed it. Yeah.
Yeah,
If
but
I
that
ever
was
get to-
before we had like the cameras and stuff. So it was all footage, and I had to like keep re-editing it because Netflix kept striking us.
Is it time to revisit? We can revisit it.
Maybe when the movie comes out, we can watch it. It's a Netflix movie, right?
Yep.
Nadia's posing a question in the chat. Who's the better Chris? Evans, Pine, Hemsworth, or Pratt? Pratt.
Pratt.
What? Where is
Yeah,
that?
Pratt.
I didn't see
It's
that.
up top a little bit. She said it a while ago.
Chris
Yeah,
Evans,
I'd say
Chris
Pratt
Pine.
for sure.
Chris Hemsworth.
I'm saying that based on his personality and the way he interacts with franchises.
Yeah, I would go with Pratt with Hemsworth a
close second.
close second.
Yeah, I don't like Evans. Chris Evans?
Oh, he's a douche.
Is he?
Yeah.
Am I not the crazy one? I
No.
feel like he's kind of a dick.
He's a dick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Glad I'm not the only one who thinks that.
He's eating the Hollywood Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Didn't he like do some kind of a tweet somewhere where he was like, "Protect your women. I'm gonna get some pussy" or something? He said something weird like that on social media.
He's
He got a bunch of blowback from
probably
it.
drunk or something.
Think so?
I like it when these guys like go out and like imbibe a little bit and their real selves come out with their tweets. It's like, oh, probably better erase that. Yeah.
Farnsworth is asking if we've seen the Blue Beetle trailer.
I did watch it. I did. Okay, I'll say this. I watched the trailer via Geeks and Gamers trailer
Oh,
reaction.
well, it's skewed.
So immediately, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna watch that. I don't even know.
a fascist.
I don't even know.
It's like, okay.
I don't even know who freaking Blue Beetle
Yeah,
is.
what a way to end a trailer,
What an
right?
idiotic
by
thing to say.
insulting your most popular superhero.
Listen, I have
so
not seen
dumb.
the trailer. I have not seen it.
Don't bother.
And,
You're not gonna watch it.
The reason is I said this on Saturday. I have no interest. I don't care about these movies.
Yeah. Oh, this is an interesting group chat. So I have a group chat on my Instagram, on my personal account, with a bunch of my friends who are all nerds like me. And we were talking about Marvel this week.
It's nice to be invited to that.
It's a different world. It's not this world. It's my own
Keep
world.
your other friends separate from.
I do very much so.
Yeah,
because you're a weirdo. No,
you're just afraid I'd steal all your friends.
You would not.
Steal them.
So somebody posed a question about what the newest. Oh, the Secret Invasion with Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
That trailer. I mean, the trailer was fine, but I didn't even. I was like,
didn't watch.
I don't care about Marvel anymore.
I guess I'll go home and watch some trailers today.
And I've said this on the podcast many times, but I'm like, Endgame was it for me. Like I was happy.
Yeah,
like Marvel made me happy with Endgame. I felt satisfied as a fan, and I just kind of walked away from it like that. And the last thing that I watched was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and I didn't like it. I was like, not into it. And I haven't even looked at Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't care about any of the new TV shows they're coming out with. I don't care about Marvel anymore. And I said that, and I'm thinking I'm probably the salty nerd, so I'm going to be a bit skewed. All of my friends said the same thing. Yeah, I'm over it. I'll just wait for it to come on Disney Plus, and even if I did watch it, then I might not. I don't know. And then even my friend Jenna, who's like a huge nerd, she goes to San Diego Comic-Con every year. She cosplays. She's like, I have Disney Plus, but I've lost faith in Marvel as well. I have zero expectations, and I'm sticking to the classics.
She's the one who does all the Wonder Woman cosplay.
Yeah, she does Wonder Woman cosplay and stuff like that, and she's also done She-Ra and stuff like that. But she's like, I have zero expectations, and I'm sticking to the classics. I watched Infinity War and Endgame last week. Still gave me the feels. I'm pretending like it ended with them, and I'm like, is this the general consensus among all comic book fans that they're just like, yeah, Marvel's like, chill, guys, just take a break for a little while. We're good.
You know, the thing about Marvel is that the plans for their next phase post Endgame got royally screwed up by COVID. And I think that if COVID hadn't hit, we might have like a better output of like Marvel stuff.
They were still planning on putting all these MCU movies out.
They were on the docket before COVID.
So I don't think it had much to do with anything. They just pivoted and they started going down this even worse track.
But there was a lot of stuff that they had to like reshoot and rewrite and re-edit because of COVID, especially with like Falcon and Winter Soldier and stuff like that. WandaVision, like WandaVision was supposed to originally come out after Falcon and Winter Soldier. And there was like this whole like virus subplot in Falcon and Winter Soldier that had to be completely like edited out because of because of COVID pandemic. Yeah. So like and then like they had to keep pushing back like Black Widow. And it was a mess all around. And I don't think they ever fully recovered from that in terms of like what their plan for it was. And now they just seem to be kind of scattershot doing stuff without a plan and trying to kind of like, retroactively fix things. I know that they said they came out a while back and said that they were going to slow down so that they could like reorient and kind of like reposition phase 5 and make it like a little bit more cohesive and better planned.
I know the executives don't want to hear this, but as a fan, I would say just stop. Like, we're good. You don't need to keep doing this. Like, just save your money and go to other projects.
Can't wait for the X people.
Yeah, because you can't call them men anymore.
It'd be great.
The X-Men, it's the X people.
The mutants.
That's what I'm saying. Just take a break for a little while and come back and you don't even have to connect it. I'm kind of over the whole
the mutants. It's just gonna be the mutants.
The mutants.
And Cuck Devil.
Well, they did that, didn't they? They did the mutants. Wasn't that with what's her face?
You said Cuck Devil.
Yeah, they said Cuck Devil.
They did it with what's her name? She was Arya Stark. I can't remember the actress's name, but they did the mutants, right?
The New Mutants.
The New Mutants. That's what it was.
That was based off a comic book called The New Mutants.
And it was flopped, right? It just didn't do very well.
It sat in purgatory after they made it for like a decade.
I think they should just take a break for a while and like come back and do another set of movies that aren't connected to the overall MCU. Because it's losing its luster, and at this point, it's kind of like diminishing.
It's lost.
It's lost its luster, and it's like diminishing returns at this point. So you keep going down this road, you're not going to gain back that end game hype. It's never going to get to that point again. Yeah. So just hit the reset button and do something different. That's what I would say. But I'm not an exec at Disney.
Brother, the Zers. He's 49 years old. My little brother. Is
he the one who touched your dice?
Oh yeah, motherfucker! I swear, I'm still upset about it. I had these really nice bone pearl polished dice.
They're made out of real bone?
And they were just awesome.
Dude, you want to know the ultimate?
And I used them for years, and I said, don't touch my dice. Don't ever touch my dice. Everybody in my D&D group knew, no, touch my dice.
Little brother.
Yeah, it's rage. I'm getting mad now.
That's what
Thinking about it.
That's what little brothers do.
I know. It's okay. Sorry.
Excuse me. I don't know what else to talk about.
Maybe we just wrap it up.
Yeah, we can wrap it up. That's
Wrapping
it.
it up.
2 hours. That's a good live stream, right, guys? I don't know what I'm
Close.
doing here. Thank you guys so much
We're
for
hanging out now.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you all so much for your generous super chats. Really appreciate it.
Don't forget to tag
I've
what's
got-
his face with some
Stunt baby.
stunt baby.
Stunt baby.
Stunt baby.
Hashtag stunt. Oh, I could cut about a bunch of shorts out and tag him in on Instagram. Hashtag stunt baby.
Hashtag Stunt baby.
Whiskey Jack, thank you. Let's see, John, thank you so much. No Money G, JT, Astro Nerd Boy, Nadia, thank you guys so much for your generous super chats. Really appreciate
I got
it.
something.
Oh, you want a final thing?
We recorded some YouTube
We did.
members only content today. So if
did.
you want to get that show here very soon, you need to hit that join button.
Oh, and I'm supposed to mention that if you are a
I
member,
believe it's at the $5 level they get the they get the extra coverage.
All right.
$1.99 to get the emojis and stuff, but the $5 level, $4.99 level, you get the extra content.
yeah, we recorded some today. And we
Yeah.
were drinking. I'm supposed to mention too, you guys are doing giveaways on Saturdays for the extra wallets. Is that correct? For members only. So if you want to get,
Well,
No,
that's
that's
extra
anybody.
wallets for anybody.
oh, for anybody. Okay.
But we're doing a thing where like, so if you subscribe in April to become a member of our channel on YouTube, then in May we do a drawing for a giveaway for a hat.
Okay.
So basically, like if you're a YouTube member, you're instantly entered into that.
Where's the hat? There's the hat right there. Got a couple of these waiting for you. Oh, look, he's got the thing pulled up.
The what? Oh yeah, there it is.
Right on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We're gonna get out of here. I gotta go home. My wife is saying yes, please come home. So there she is, right there. What's up, babe? Thanks for watching.
Wait,
V,
what?
say goodbye to the people.
Who's bugging you?
I know he's bugging me. My wife wants me to come home.
Oh, he's
And
mine. He's not coming home.
He's got editing to do. Damn it!
I've got stuff for him to do.
Hey, I finished my Wandering Earth. I had to watch that crappy movie again. Shout out to Dr. Thomas Target. Was it next Friday? I think might drop. We did a Chinese movie we reviewed with Thomas Target. Some of you might have heard it live when we did on Twitter Spaces, but that's coming out pretty soon. So look for that coming out.
Robo wants to know if the content is for YouTube members or patron too. So we have to do. I believe we have to do
Two separate things.
two separate things.
Yeah,
with the way
unfortunately.
yeah. So the stuff we recorded today is for YouTube members, but every week for our patrons we do record our its own special content. We're doing right now. We're going through original Star Trek, and we're doing commentary along with the episode.
Yeah.
And you get the episode and the commentary all at the same time in one big thing. So don't tell anybody.
Don't tell Paramount.
Yeah. So
We don't speak of that.
Don't say the P word.
But yeah. The different memberships get different content.
Yeah.
And so
One of these days we'll get our stuff together and it'll just
Yeah.
be like evenly
big thing.
dispersed. But until that happens, everybody
and
gets something
Quantum
different.
Cat is a new member.
Welcome.
I'm not, so thank you, sir.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
All right. That's it. We're gonna get out of here. Okay, just say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Stay salty.
We just threw away our old wallets. Want to know why? Because we just discovered the most efficient smart wallet in the world. Exter has revolutionized the wallet, and we will never go back to bifold. We are so impressed. Exter wallets are super slim and sleek. They are half the size of a conventional bifold wallet. Compact and modular, they hold 12 cards or more plus cash. And that means no more stuffing that bulky, worn-out bifold wallet into your back pocket. Forget sitting on that uncomfortable lump and slide Exter into your front pocket instead. This high-quality wallet combines Italian leather, space-grade aluminum, and carbon fiber. Plus, it includes built-in RFID blocking to protect you from wireless theft. And you know how hard it can be to replace all of your cards if your wallet is stolen. Exter includes a tracking card to help you keep an eye on your belongings with a map, and you can even ring it for location assistance. this is the last wallet you'll ever buy. To get an Exter wallet like ours, visit shop.exter.com/thepopcast. Get 25% off your order when you use code THEPOPCAST at checkout. Join the wallet revolution and upgrade your quality of life with Exter today.